right. Hello, welcome to the last and final episode of 2025 here in the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan Fulford, Marcus Green, and Keith Hadley. Things Up podcast is where you know that's where you can always find Keith. And of course, maybe we'll get an appearance from Kelvin Rozier as he's out on assignment, running around, being busy during the holiday season. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Marcus, Keith. How you brothers doing? Been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, no, you chomping at the bit. You're like, ready to
go. I mean, look, it's been a minute, man. I've been away for a minute, man. You know, I'm letting y'all brothers do your thing. You know, you guys been holding it down quite well. And I'm chomping at the bit, you know, but you know, as you can tell, if you watch Sunday's show, man, we went on forever. We did like a marathon show.
Oh,
you know, brothers didn't have work. We didn't have work on Monday, so you know, we just started talking, just did talk. You know, Marcus had already warned me. Keith, he had already warned me, like Bryan, we got that kind of time
today. see, Marcus has to go to work tomorrow. See, I go to somebody. If I show up, I show up. If I don't, hey, that'd be all right.
Exactly. So yeah, tell me about how you guys spent the holidays a little bit. I'm gonna finish putting this last little post out here to let people know. You know, obviously there's some issues going on with Facebook, so our feed, I don't think our feed isn't streaming directly to Facebook right now for some reason. But of course, we got our usual family on Twitter. Some of our Twitter spots, but of course the YouTube channel's hitting, Instagram Live is hitting, and I'm just trying to send out these last couple of notices. But you know, kind of update the people, let people know kind of how your holiday, Christmas, and all that stuff went.
I let Marcus start it off. This Marcus home.
It went good. You know, we're at that point or at that age now where like the kid, well, I call them kids, but they're young adults. So Christmas was like functional. Like, hey, what you need, you know, no big gifts, but, you know, we went over to a relative's house, enjoyed some good food, and that was about it, and just relaxed.
Okay. Very similar. Spent a lot of time with family. If y'all noticed, probably didn't really plan on not doing the show on Sunday, but, you know, it just kind of felt like that, and just kind of going back in circles with some old people that you used to work with, trying to, you know, brush up, you know, sharpen your iron a little bit, but also spend some time with family. I was telling Marcus, like, today, you know, it's been like a family day, like daddy-daughter day most of the day. So ran around to the stores and did all this other stuff and took a nap. And I was like, I was supposed to cook today. So, you know, but really a lot of time with family, and just, you know, I spent extra time in Tallahassee. So as a matter of fact, Tuesday, I was up on campus trying to see if they was going to be up there, if it was on Zoom. I was like, hey, I'm in Tallahassee. I'm about to have some fun. So some good times.
Yeah, I saw you say that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Does Keith know that these folks ain't trying to be actually formally on? I didn't let you have it because I was like, wait a minute. I know Keith ain't sitting there standing outside the grand ballroom. Like, where everybody at? Where's everybody at?
I went to the police station and everything, man. I don't play with FAMU. If I'm going on campus, I'm not getting towed. I'm going to the police station. I'm getting a parking decal. I do not play with Florida A&M University. Y'all will not have me doing the FAMU relays as an adult. I'm done being hazed by FAMU. I'm grown. So, but no, I was up there, but it was good, man. I got to be in really, it was nice kind of seeing campus again and seeing it when it's not packed, and seeing some of the improvements and some of the fencing and some of the other things. So it's a beautiful situation. It's a beautiful campus.
Look at you, Keith, getting out amongst it all. Well, yeah, again, just to let you know, unfortunately, for some reason, you know, our Facebook family, they're doing without, because apparently, I don't know, some technical issues. But those of you who are watching us on YouTube, on the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube feed, or our O&G StrikeZone YouTube feed. But, you know, I did put the announcement out. I put the announcement out everywhere. That's why we tell you to make sure you're following us on all of these feeds, so that way you get the notification. So hopefully folks will actually catch up. Those who are watching us in all these other places. So we appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and the like button if you would. We greatly appreciate the likes. Make that a New Year's resolution for yourself. When you get on these, if you're someone who watches the show or shows, whatever you watch, make it a habit in 2026 of hitting the thumbs up button. You don't understand, for all of us streamers and all of us who put these content, the algorithm, it builds, and the growth of our shows build based on your likes. And so when you guys are watching the show, be courteous. It's like what's a good analogy? What's a good equivalent? When you go out to eat, you thank the servers for a good meal, and you just, whether you tip or not is irrelevant, but you just kind of, hey, thank you for your service. Have a good day. So hit the thumbs up and the like button wherever and however you're watching the show. It's greatly appreciated. Let me go through the roll call here, fellas. I know obviously we got the chat running live there on screen, but there's probably some folks that we missed. Obviously, Jimmy Mack coming in first. Good evening to you. Happy New Year. Yes, praying that you have a blessed New Year as well. Let us know in the chat. What are you most thankful for in 2025? I mean, obviously, if we have our health and if you're on the chat, I mean, that's great. So I mean, if you want to keep it that simple, do that. But let us know what are you thankful for 2025? How has 2025? How has the Lord blessed you in 2025? We like to keep it real up here. B Starks, good to see you, brother. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber, and happy New Year to you. Marvin Allen, happy New Year as well. Much blessings to you in the new year. Ashton, good to see you, brother. Thank you for checking in. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. All that stuff. Appreciate you. Makiba West, thank you for checking in. Good to see you, sister. Thank you for checking in. Tamara T as well. Good evening. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber throughout the year. And happy New Year to you as well. Meredith. Hey, Meredith. Good to see you. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Happy New Year as well to you. We are going to do best of 2025. Meredith, I got your contribution already saved. So if you guys who are in the chat, you want to start loading in some of your best of 2025 for FAMU, feel free. I spent all day, Marcus and Keith, and I got to say, I was grinding. I was going through a couple of different sites trying to go back and remember. And if you look at the stuff, I mean, it's a healthy list that I came up with of names and things. Yeah. So I mean, I just wonder if there's something that I left off. And this is a best of. So we ain't got to talk about the FAMU foolishness. We ain't got to talk about the messy stuff, the unfortunate stuff. We don't really have to. This is a best of show. We'll just keep it at that. Can we say that and keep it real like that?
Yes.
There you go. DQ, how you doing? Thank you for checking in. Good to see you. EA. So glad I'm in Jesus' name. Okay. All right. Good to see you, EA. Thank you for checking in, brother. Gail. Good to see you, Gail. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Jaquan Reed. All right. What up, fam? Troy checking in. Appreciate you, Troy. Backmouth Sports. What? Troy got some hot takes? What hot takes? What I miss? Not Troy. Not with hot takes, no. Mary 305 checking in from up in the A. I bet it's cold up there. So I know I don't know what it's like there in Tallahassee. And where are you at, Keith? Are you in Orlando?
I'm back in the friendly confines. You see the internet's working.
There it is. Exactly.
The laptop could not do it.
What made me think about that, Keith, is I know how cold it is right now. I had my door open to my patio. It's cold in Orlando right now. It's actually kind of brisk.
I just left I left a store that doesn't doesn't contribute to this show, but I was out there in my t-shirt and my shorts, and I got some funny looks, and I'm like, I'm just running in the store and right back out.
Oh, look at you. Okay. All right. JT, good to see you, brother. Happy New Year. Good to see. Good to see my man Johnny Thornton. Happy New Year. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber. There's a question. There's a question for folks. Let's go ahead and start throwing some names out there. I know there's some folks from the OBC who watch. Let's go ahead and throw some wish list names out there. Who would you like to see in the OBC in 2026?
Southern or PV?
Really? You would like to see one of those two teams in the
I
OBC? Are
would.
you being serious? Really?
I'm being serious. I think for me, I think when you get the OBC would need a rivalry, especially like a Southern. That would be something to like nice shot of energy. You can do the whole NFL thing. It's not going to draw a lot, but I think that's a good shot of energy, and you can get those two fan bases together. And Southern people in Miami, I mean, they already get New Orleans right there, but you give them Miami and Florida folks. I'm just saying,
Hmm.
I like that.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Marcus, what do you think?
I'm thinking maybe resurrecting another MEAC rival like A&T. I know they have been. I know they haven't been hitting on a whole lot since they joined the CAA, but I think throwing back some nostalgia there would be a good draw. I don't know. And plus, it may depending on how their seasons go. If the last couple, going to Miami might be a good vacation.
And would they be lazy and just get South Carolina State? It's
Oh, you
already on
think?
the schedule.
Oh, you not next season though.
Yeah, I thought we had them next season. I
No,
thought we
I
moved
think
that
that
game.
moved. I think that moved to 27.
Okay, okay.
I think so. I think so. I like how you said that. Would they be lazy? Stop it.
Hey,
Uh, a couple people in the chats wanted to put South Carolina State the MEAC champs. That is one of our deepest rivals, though, Keith. So, and we are not averse to playing a SWAC team to open the season.
Nope.
I like your concept of Southern. I know Carlos Brown is in the building. What do you think, Carlos? Your thing with Southern folks and Marshall Falk. Would that be enticing? Would Southern folks travel to South Florida? I think it's on the table. Should be on the table. Definitely should be.
I love it. And it's not like South Carolina State's never played in the OBC before. I was definitely at that game in Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, I think A&T would be interesting. I know North Carolina Central wants to. Don't let Johnny tell you any different. I know North Carolina Central wants to come back, but I don't know if I want to see them back.
Not after last year, man. Yeah,
not after last year. We'd rather come to your house and beat y'all 40-something to 6 instead of doing it on a neutral site. That's just me. Let me see. Where I saw Troy. Hold on. I see. We asked about blessings for the year. Hold on. I saw Troy's here. There you go. Amen. Amen to that. Being cancer free. Mm-hmm. Amen, Troy. Amen to that. Amen. Yeah. Talk about blessings in 2025. Amen. Let me see. All right. What is this? Jaquan Reed, opportunity to make it out of the transfer portal and land at FAMU. Hey. Blessings on you, son. Blessings on you. Blessings and blessings and blessings. Hey, you speak it into existence. Man, you never know. Never know. Appreciate you checking in on the show, brother. Appreciate you. Little baby. What up, little baby? Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you. Let me see. Who else am I missing? Troy said it's 52 degrees in Tampa. Yeah, that's about right. Gail, Cleveland, sending y'all some. We don't need that, Gail. You can keep all that cold weather up there in Cleveland. Keep it up there in Delaware too. Marcus is like, man, what are y'all talking about? Y'all complaining about 52. Marcus, you want to give us a weather update from Delaware?
Well, it dropped about 20 degrees yesterday. It was like almost. Yesterday was an anomaly. It was almost 60 degrees, and then the bottom fell out overnight. And we get like 20-mile-per-hour gusts, so it's really not suitable for man or beast. Well, it's not that bad, but I mean, it got cold real quick. More temperate. It's like what it should be about this time of year. So we got fooled on Monday.
How about Tennessee State coming to the OBC? I know that's a hot one that a lot of people
Somehow we need
see.
to resurrect that rivalry because it's kind of like ever since the Atlanta Classic kind of faded out, the rivalry just hasn't been the same. And I maybe attributed to, I guess, the infrequent playing and the fact that a lot of folks who invested in that rivalry are now, some of our senior saints. So it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
resonate in the young minds as much as it did. And I guess the fact that also that, yeah, at the time, way back, I mean, there were certain schools, the Big Five, the Big Six, and HBCUs were competing for national titles, and we don't have that same bumping of the heads with Tennessee State. So that probably contributed too.
Yeah, and what last time I saw them was when they were in Tampa. So I mean, it was actually a decent turnout. We definitely carried, but that there was a hurricane involved in that, so it's not like
Mm-hmm.
one of those things where the attendance queens can get all upset and start screaming about low attendance. Like there was a hurricane literally like a couple days before the game.
Yeah. The unfortunate side of the weather. Yeah. Look at JT going back in time, watching the old season highlights. Drop that YouTube feed in the chat there, JT. Let other people be blessed with some of those warm, good feelings of the '98 season, man.
Oh
Don't be
yeah,
holding. It's out there somewhere, but
Somebody
yeah.
posted it on. They retweeted it today
oh, they
with
did.
a youngish looking Keith Miles
Ah,
uh, in his three button jacket and looking very 98.
very late '90ish,
Late
that
90s.
Yeah.
'90ish, '98ish. I probably still
Him
got
and
a three button
Steven
suit.
Spoon Ramsey, man.
Oh man,
Look, that's how you
awesome
know. That's
stuff.
how you know you're a rattler when you drop names like that.
Uh-huh. 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 Lives up there in Minneapolis, talking about I didn't know there was a weather storm warning, a winter storm warning. I didn't think that happened in Florida, you know?
Have fun with that.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
God
hopefully
bless
you're in a
y'all.
part of Minneapolis where you can just walk through those little tubes across the city and stuff like that. Minneapolis is a really cool city, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But you gotta go outside eventually though. That's the problem.
See,
That's
we
the
went during the
problem.
summer, so we were outside. We ain't played
Yeah, yeah,
that.
outside, yeah. How about Delaware State as an opponent in the OBC? Marcus, is Delaware State folks gonna travel? They gonna travel down to South Florida?
They don't
Mm,
travel to Delaware.
Oh
I don't know
wow.
about that.
Hold on, they had a good crowd there for that game against South Carolina State, right, Marcus? There was a good crowd
Yeah,
for that game.
that's a nice. I mean, it could be a good vacation, and it'll be Labor Day weekend or the weekend before. So a lot of them are Eagles fans as well. So you don't have the Eagles to compete with, and Philly fans will travel, especially they'll follow the Eagles, so they'll go all over the place. So I don't know if that translates over to Dell State, but coming off this season, maybe so. To see if they keep the momentum rolling, but I wouldn't bet on it. I would opt for something Southern regional team.
Yeah. North
Southern
Carolina
Regional
Central,
Team,
North Carolina A&T.
South Carolina State, Tennessee State. We'll keep
Yeah.
it there. Maybe that's a poll question that I'll throw up in shortly. What team would you like to see in the OBC? What opponent would you like to see in the OBC? We got North Carolina A&T, Central, um, South Carolina State, or I don't know. Well, let's say Southern. Let's throw Keith's option out there. Southern. You
I
know.
think I'll say this for Tennessee State because we're seeing what's happening with the Ohio Valley Conference, right? I mean, and the only thing, the best option for them is the SWAC, distance wise. I mean, once you like outside of the Texas schools, the closest school to them is you're talking 7 hours plus, right? So obviously the SWAC is some place that should be interested in Tennessee State. What kind of game would that be for a game opener, a conference opener? First time them being in the SWAC, FAMU, Tennessee State.
That would be
Wait,
nice. You
wait,
pulling
wait.
scenarios.
I'm pulling
Wait, yeah,
scenarios, man.
I don't know.
oh, okay,
I
I'm
don't know.
thinking, yeah, it's like, whoa,
I
wait a
know
minute, what?
Japhus is on here, but I don't know if Japhus or any of the old school MEAC fans on here. But we've been talking Tennessee State joining since like the early 2000s.
Yes, I've been
All
on
these
that forever.
scenarios of super conferences and things like that. So
But the Ohio
that would
Valley
be.
Conference is about to make it a reality. I mean,
Mhm.
those non-HBCUs are not staying in that conference.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something. Have to make a decision, especially if it ends up dissolving or whatever. They've been struggling the last couple of years. Didn't they have a partnership with somebody?
Yeah,
Another
like the
conference,
Atlantic
the
Sun,
UAC
something
or
like that.
something like that, or
Yeah.
they had some kind of cobbled together conference just to keep their playoff automatic bid. So
Yeah. Or it was the Southland, something like that. Yeah. So
mhm.
that'd be interesting.
Look,
It'll make
I
it
don't know whose
uneven
home
though, so
game.
we'd have to do something.
Whose
We'd
Yeah.
have to,
game is it
You,
this
you
year? Whose
dissolve
home
the
game
you
is
just
it?
dissolve divisions.
Yeah, exactly. Liv was asking about divisions. I think divisions are going. Look, the vibe that I'm starting to hear and get is that divisions are going away. They are slowly going to fade away. You see them; they faded away in baseball. I think they'll fade away in softball here pretty soon. Um, I don't know. Is basketball still? Basketball's not doing divisions. Um,
Nah,
no,
not really. I
no.
think everybody just
Basketball's
makes a
not.
tournament now.
Yeah, it's just football, and football is in the middle of that 10-year contract thing, and I think before or 10-year scheduling thing, which is now halfway through. I wouldn't be surprised. Look, I'm jumping the gun here, but before the end of the 5 years, I would not be surprised if it goes away.
It becomes a revenue
Just
issue too, though. Like you think about it, Brian. Like your your schools that are going to generate the most revenue are normally your schools in the top 4 or 5 of this conference, right? I mean, whoever plays Jackson State plus FAMU plus Southern. I mean, a Boombox Classic Part Two is always going to make money. FAMU Southern, even though we haven't proven we'll travel, that is going to draw attention. And despite what people may say about the numbers of the Celebration Bowl, attendance wise, it was in the 20s of thousands. But when you're talking about nationally watching the game, I believe it was what millions of people watched the game, somewhere like 2 million, something crazy like that.
mhm,
So it had really good television numbers despite not having good attendance numbers.
right. Um, well, just just a just a hunch, it could happen before too long. Let's get into a little bit of the news. Obviously, today's show dedicated to the best of 2025. Is this the last show of the year? We definitely would love for you guys to chime in with your thoughts, your best of 2025, whether it be performances, games, individuals, any Rattlers in memoriam that we should keep in mind. I had a couple of names on the list, but obviously I always worry that you might forget somebody. So, just any thoughts that you want to add into the chat, please go ahead and do that. But the one thing we can say here, and I know a lot of you are hot to talk about football. We'll talk about football in a second, but basketball, the conference season is about to begin. Actually, for us, it begins Saturday, January 3rd. But for the women, it does begin Thursday, January 1 on New Year's Day. That's when the official start of the SWAC season. And for our Lady Rattlers, fellas, they finally got one. They finally got it off their shoulders, and they got that first win of the season. Yesterday, they got a 71-65 victory over Southeastern. First win of the season for the Lady Rattlers. Opened up with a 27-14 lead in the first quarter. Had a lead by as much as, I think, 10? It was double digits in the second half, third quarter even. But Southeastern, of course, out of Lakeland, part of the what is it? What's the name of the division in the NAIA? They're a part of down here. The Sun. Help me out, Liv. I know you're in there. Part of the Sun something division. I should know it because it's the same one Florida Memorial is in. Thank you. Sun Conference, Liv. Thank you. They're having like a 12-2 season. 12, and they're very Southeastern is usually and are typically a very good team. And you know how I feel about basketball. I feel like basketball is one of those sports that, regardless of division, good teams, good coach teams, good ball players usually play. Now, there's obviously sometimes a big time talent gap, but is there really a talent gap in the NAIA and HBCUs? It's probably not as big as you might think it is. So, needless to say, while a lot of people, will look at this 6-point win, and you might say at one point it was a 2-point ball game. Let's look at the facts, right? What I saw, fellas, in this game, and I don't know, this game was on SWAC TV. Hopefully you guys got a chance to watch it. What I saw down the stretch is not only by the fact that we had 4 players hit double figures, but I saw a team that actually could finish a game, making free throws down the stretch. Being able to finish. That's just who I am, Liv. That's just who I am.
That's Bryan.
What's the glass full of?
Yeah, well, look, it's some kind of drink, and that's all you got to say.
Glass full was the Valdosta State game. We're not talking about that. We got to win.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it. We gotta win. That's all that matters. Yeah. So I saw us be able to finish at the rim. We didn't spend time shooting a bunch of threes down the stretch, even though they flashed open a few times. We're like, oh God, don't shoot it. We don't need it. But we did. We went to the basket. We got to the basket and made free throws down the stretch. And so for me, positive, right? Purifoy, Tanija Purifoy led the team with 15 points. Camille Jackson, 14 points, and I believe she had I tweeted this out, so I know she had double digits on the rebounding end, or very close to. Let me go to the box score here, and I can be a little more accurate with it because I did post this out. Jackson had 14 points, 9 rebounds. Shania McCarthy had 13 and 9, and Maya Gills Jones, M1, she had 10 and 7. So, it's a win. It's a win. Any thoughts and takeaways, Marcus and or Keith? I don't know which one of you guys had a chance to watch or how much you watched.
I didn't get a chance to see. I actually, just as soon as I saw it on TV, it popped up on my phone that, hey, we won the game. So I was like, oh, okay. I was going to go down and watch. But I think it was much needed confidence boost going into conference season. And, just to end the out-of-conference schedule on a high note. And I guess after, not having one up until now, could be a little – and it could make things a little heavy. So I'm glad that they were able to get that. Everyone's able to get the win under their belts, especially going on the road for our first conference game. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad Tanija Purifoy got some points off because I saw that I was at the Howard game and met Liv, and that was a tough game for everybody. But it seemed like she was just like a focal point of the game in terms of her being trapped and trying to get the ball out of her hands. So I think that was a good confidence boost for her, to be the leading scorer and also to get that win.
Keith, your thoughts?
Liv kind of put it up there, and I had to go check on BCU's website, and then all of a sudden somebody put poop on my screen because it said "Hail Wild Animals," and I had to, get rid of that. Anyways, but I definitely think it's a great win, especially consider you're going over to the world's most famous litter box to play a basketball game in that high school gymnasium. And so, I think it's a good opportunity to get back-to-back wins. I mean, shade is always going to be thrown, man. Make sure you got your tetanus shot before you go over there, too. Anywho's, but they're always catching strays. They just got to duck when it comes to me and Troy, anybody. But I think it's a good opportunity, and especially as Liv kind of put in the chat, Cookman's struggling, like, you know, and
Mhm.
you know, all jokes aside, you know, but as a basketball team, they're struggling. So this opportunity, you can get a win early on. You start the season, get a conference win in a gym where last year they beat you, and it's a nice chance to get a little bounce back, get a little get back, and it's gonna be a it's gonna be attended well by the alumni. I ain't saying no students gonna be there, but the people who are driving range, except for me, because I'm going to the other side of the state. Because I don't know if you got that call too, but they asked somebody want to go to USF, and I'm like, hey, Christmas just came, so let me just go on a ride over there and get
You
them
you
coins.
you took that gig. I saw that. I saw that. You
Yes,
took that one.
I took that one absolutely.
See, I see me. I'm being loyal. See, because I already had my somebody that wanted to go to the men's game, and since it's a doubleheader, I was like, yeah, we'll go. I had already committed, but I thought about it. I thought about it long and hard, Keith. I was like, man, I can't miss the season opener.
And look,
Keith, like, yeah, I can.
I couldn't pass it up, man.
He
Be at the
said,
Yingling Center, but I'll be watching on the phone.
yeah. Let me see. Hold on. What's Liv got to say? Let's say it just worries me how they will compete against the better and bigger, more competitive teams in the conference. Luckily, everyone exactly. See,
Yes,
and that's the one thing I say this: everyone goes, all 12. I know we as a group, I think we none of us like that. So first off, but it is what it is, right? And I will say this, okay? Looking statistically, Liv, you tell me when you say the better teams, how many better teams? No, let me rephrase the question. If you had to put into tiers, if you had to put the SWAC women's basketball into tiers, how many teams fall into tier one? If there were 3 tiers and FAMU is sitting in tier 3, I would guesstimate that there are probably 4 teams sitting in tier 1, and everybody else is falling into tier 2 or 3. So for me, even though statistically we are, let me see, 1-10, Bethune is 2-11, right? And so, I don't know, tier 1 might sit Southern, Alabama A&M, Texas Southern. That might be your tier 1. Maybe UAPB. I don't know, but no. Oh
so
Lord, four tiers. Oh, don't do that, Liv.
dang.
4 tiers.
I mean, I don't
Jesus.
disagree. Just looking at the overall records, I see Southern Alabama, A&M, Texas Southern top 3 there. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I mean, Alabama State, Alcorn,
But see, don't
Grambling.
forget though,
Yeah,
everybody's playing the average of, you're playing you're playing a tough non-conference schedule, right?
yeah.
So the one thing what separates Southern right now from everybody in women's is they've got the quad 2 division. They got the Big 12 wins. I think
Mhm.
they've got the major wins. For the rest of us though, you got to start really parsing out and looking at stats, and say, FAMU right now, we're scoring 54.8 a game. Bethune is right there, 55. Everybody's giving up points. I mean, we're giving up 79 a game. Bethune is giving up 75. So in other words, when it gets down to it, brass knuckles, it's going to come down to, it's going to come down to little things, that you want to go look at. You're going to look at turnover margin. You're going to look at free throw percentage. In other words, what I'm saying is this is an even ball game. I feel like this season starting off against Bethune is an even ball game.
Yes. I think you should
And
win this game, honestly, Brian. Let's call it
it's a
spade spade.
winnable game. It's a winnable game. It
I
is a
think it's
winnable
more
game.
than winnable. This is
Hmm.
one of
Let's
those ones
keep it out winnable.
you should
keep
win.
it out winnable. No, don't do that. See, don't do that. Don't look. Don't start. Look,
Slow your roll.
we're not gonna do that. Let's not start the season like that. Didn't we go through this exercise at the start of the football season, Keith? Did we not learn anything from the start of the football season?
Yep, and the coach learned something too.
Okay, see, but I'm saying let's not set the fan base up. Let's not set the fan base up.
Oh,
Okay?
I'm not setting them up. That's the only one I'm counting as a dub. The rest of them, it's toss up.
But I'm just saying we were supposed to be Howard, and then Keith spent the next 12 weeks calling Howard trash And
And they
then
were.
but they beat us though, Keith. They beat us, and so
Yep.
I
They
mean,
beat us, and the
whatever
coach
that
quit
says of
and got
us.
a job somewhere else. And then our coach got relieved of his duties.
I'm just
Respectfully.
I'm not ready to set us up. Damn it, Keith. So anyway, that game, that's the so again, the women, just in case you didn't know, the women are still doing the Thursday solo, Saturday is part of the doubleheader. Then the men are playing the doubleheader on Saturdays and then solo games on Monday. And if I'm not mistaken, because of an opening game being against a rival, the men will only play that game against Bethune, who, of course, the men are now 3-8. They had a 3-game winning streak going into the final 3 games. You know, the Texas two-step against Tarleton State, Texas Christian, and Georgia Tech, which all 20-point losses. So I mean, let's not call it anything more than what they were. But they play Bethune and then have no game on Monday. So and then they invite Southern and Grambling into town the following weekend for a pair. So it is what it is. Now the men's game, fellas, that to me, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting because I think Bethune was everybody's. I mean, look, they opened the season with a very competitive game against Auburn, right? Remember that? I think we were on the show when that game happened, or we had Liv on real early on the season when that happened. And then all of a sudden, let's not forget, there was a 50 burger that a school put up on Bethune. And if I'm not mistaken, that was St. Louis. Yeah, they lost by 50. 50.
Heck, Miami almost got them. Didn't Miami? That looks like a 40 burger. So
look, I'm just scrolling through. I haven't seen FAMU get toasted like that. You know, now I mean,
fly Delta behind too.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to Bethune. And look, they lost to a team that if St. Louis is that good, whatever we thought of Bethune, if St. Louis is that good, I got to find some futures on St. Louis in that conference because, you know, I had some people tell me, oh, no, St. Louis is good, coach. I'm like, okay. Look, I don't know. I take your word on it. But
dang,
like,
they 12-1, Bryan.
Okay, maybe they that good. Okay. They that good. Yeah. So interesting enough is that's going to be an interesting game. Theus versus Charlie Ward, you know, former NBA players, coaches now. Both games will be part of a doubleheader on HBCU Go. So that too will be interesting. What are your thoughts on the start of the season there, Marcus, for the men's basketball team?
I think it'll be a good exercise to have some competition that's more, I guess, on our level. I think one of the deciding factors, and I don't recall, Liv can probably fill in how many players are returning for BCU, but I think the returnees and their experience with understanding what Coach Theus wants and versus, first year coach with a whole almost basically 80-90% new roster for us, having that continuity, I think could play a significant role. But I think it will be competitive. We've shown competitiveness in most of the games, especially the teams that are closer to our level of competition. So I think it'll be a good game, but their experience, I think, may be a slight edge for Bethune-Cookman in terms of continuity and the number of players and understanding what they're trying to do and us still trying to find our footing.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add on that, Keith?
I think it's going to be interesting to see how height is a factor in this game. This is one of those games where you can start to see, I don't want to call it the Leonard Hamilton effect, but styles make fights, right? And for those who are unfamiliar, when Florida State played under Hamilton, they did definitely recruit some guys with some height. FAMU has two guys that are 6'11". One's listed as a forward, one's listed as a center. And when you're looking at Cookman's team, their tallest player is 6'8". A lot of times when you go back and you watch some of our HBCUs, you start to realize in the paint is a lot of times where we're able to get beat up a little bit. I'm wondering, if those players can get onto the court, how that affects as far as the rebounding totals. Does that, because we all know, I mean, Bryan, heck, you're a basketball coach, you know more about this than me, but rebounding and getting those second chance options matters, and being able to potentially get those opportunities is going to be interesting for me. So, yeah.
Just to remind everybody, here are the preseason predicted order of finish on the women's side and the men's side. And so we kind of spoke to that feeling that everybody, we kind of felt like on the women's side that, us and Bethune were kind of similar, at least predicted, and kind of what we've seen thus far in terms of production through the tough non-conference schedule. The men, as it's been stated, on paper, Bethune looked the part, and then the season started, and currently sitting at 3-10, while two programs with new coaches, Alabama A&M, are 7-6, and Grambling State, with our former coach, Coach Crary, are sitting at 6-7. 6-7, 6-7.
I was waiting on it.
I'm sorry. I had to, work around kids. It is what it is. Now, I wonder if on the SWAC website, if they're only counting Division I wins, because they've only got us listed as having one win. Obviously, we've only beaten one Division I opponent.
I see that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Full disclosure, I got Grambling winning the conference, by a mile.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, it's Crary and his squad. That squad is gonna be the tough team to beat.
Look, you're not the only one. Hard Rock Bets is not. They're not playing with Crary. They don't even put Grambling on there.
Yeah. If you know, you know. No, he did a good job. He did a good job last year for FAMU. That's all I'm gonna tell you. So
absolutely.
So yeah, I'll be on that a lot. So I mean that'll be interesting though. But we'll see. Matter of fact, when does Coach and the boys come to town? Just kind of looking at the schedule. Oh, Monday, January 12th. It's on Swag TV. Get your popcorn ready. Coach Crary and the Grambling State Tigers come back to Tallahassee.
Ooh, that's Monday night basketball.
Yeah, Monday night basketball. We need a packed house for that one, boy. Because keep your head on a swivel. There's gonna be a ton of dunks in that game. At least they're gonna try to.
Dunks and threes.
Dunks and threes. Yes, indeed. But again. The season starts, men and women's. The women, let me see. The men are playing at 3:30. And the women, I'm presuming, are playing at 1:00. Yeah.
Yep.
Both games on HBCU Go. So, plenty of time to get over to Daytona Beach and then get back to wherever you need to get back to before the sun goes down. Come on. You know what? That's why I said I gave it consideration. I thought about it as well. Before we transition to some football talk, because I know a lot of you are hungry to that, and I know Keith and Marcus has some news and some stuff. How about this promo that was recently dropped?
Hello, I'm Billy Joe. I was the head football coach at FAMU from 1994 through the 2004 season, 11 years. I'm here to encourage you to join me in donating $250 or more to our new head football coaches program, Quinn Gray. He was a member of my FAMU program from 1997 to 2001. 5 years. Those 5 years were FAMU's golden years. We never lost to BCU during that time. We made the NCAA playoffs 5 straight years, and Quinn ran my Gulf Coast offense with precision and intelligence. We beat Troy State University twice and blew out Appalachian State on their own home field during those playoff runs. No HBCU football team has ever won 3 games in the NCAA playoffs in Division I AA. No SWAC team has ever won a game in the NCAA playoffs. Quinn will bring the golden years back to FAMU, but he needs your help, so donate generously of $250 or more to his FAMU football program. And go Rattlers! And strike! And strike! And strike again!
Coach is in. He was on it, boy. Woo.
The only thing we missed was the word plethora. If you know, you know.
Hey, the best part of that is Coach. Look, there's so many like little shots that Coach Joe dropped in that.
The swag thing I laughed at.
The swag thing got me. No swag. I mean, he said it with such inflection in his voice. He was like, "No swag team is one of." It was like, "Damn, Coach." And then he make note of the fact that Quinn ain't never lost to Bethune.
Oh yeah, the shot was definitely.
What you take on that, Marcus, Keith? Just the engagement of being able to get Coach Joe to do a nice promo like that.
Pulling out all the stops, trying to, make sure that all the momentum, and I just like what we talked last week, even with Quinn having that announcement, like literally, hitting the button as soon as the BOT meeting was over with his launch of the campaign. They're lining up, they're not taking anything to chance, and they're taking advantage of the momentum and excitement, which is a lesson we learned 2 years ago about this time.
What's your thoughts, Keith?
This is why you bring someone like Quinn Gray back to FAMU. It's because he can pull not just at the purse strings, but he can pull at the emotional strings. Because we watched Quinn Gray. As I think was that you or Kelvin mentioned some of y'all still mad at Quinn Gray about the playoffs, and how sweet it would be though. I mean, we kind of saw Willie kind of do his thing. What kind of full circle moment would that be for Quinn Gray to be at the Celebration Bowl, and the kind of redemption story that would be? Again, he's not the prodigal son. He's the native son, if you will, but what kind of story is that? And that's why you bring him here. Now, my next question is, when are we going to get the season tickets ready, though? Like, stop playing. Like, get the season tickets up there so that people can buy their season tickets now. Because I don't remember which university, again, they don't support the O&G StrikeZone. So, but they've already dropped their whole season, their whole schedule for next year, already up there. And it's like, buy your tickets now. Now, granted, it's a PWI. Very few schools, if any, have already started that. But what if we were to just go out there and, even without having a complete schedule, saying this is how many home games we're going to have, 4 to 5, do a pre-order, secure your spot, $100 down payment for your season tickets. I mean, because all of a sudden that's money that's already in the athletic coffers. And then you've also got that person to pretty much commit, because now they put some skin in the game. So now they want to follow through just because you got my $100. I got to pay for the rest of this. So it's just, I love that, but I want to see more of that forward thinking and stealing from our competitors in the state.
Well, I think I'm going to call it instability within the administration, athletic administration, is why you don't see that. We've got the final days of an interim. We've got a new AD that begins next week on January 5th.
Absolutely.
And so
he might start, he might not.
Oh, Lord. Look, he got breaking news already. No, that's why we don't look. I mean, we would love to be able to promote. I mean, I'm seeing, look, fellas, it's funny you mentioned an HBCU and a PWI conference. I'm seeing people posting. What I see, I saw, was it baseball? I'm
Oh
seeing.
yeah.
I saw a
Baseball.
conference.
Oh, yeah.
A conference already dropped their preseason baseball, like predicted order of finish, all of it. I'm like, damn.
I
But
believe across the street
hey,
they're
look,
already selling baseball
it
tickets.
start. It start. Thank you. It starts. It starts like next week, January, and then you start. The season begins like practices at the end of the month. I mean, it'll be here before we know it. And so, yeah, while we're the business of college athletics waits for no man or woman. It moves, and so we got to be ready to move. And so I don't know. You got people retiring in the ticket office, and all kinds of people trying to get hired, need to be hired in different places.
We haven't seen a baseball schedule yet.
All I'm gonna say is it was amazing that we were able to be coordinated enough to have this all in restore the strike campaign ready to go. And
Great job, Angel Suggs.
that that is the amazing part. And I heard you guys talk about this last week. It's amazing that was able to happen because I was pleasantly surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just be positive about it and say I was pleasantly surprised that all parties were able to activate at the same time. Everybody pushed the button at the same time, so that way this could go out. And so maybe that's the one positive to waiting a week and pushing the announcement back a week, because I think we all wanted it the previous week, but it didn't come. So what it allowed for some other things to happen. Okay, great. Now, like you said, press conference will probably happen the middle of next week. Again, there's no university people on site, so it's hard to have a press conference when there's nobody around. Okay, so it'll happen. I'm not worried about it. I mean, we just make the adjustment. They'll probably have, my guesstimation, I don't know this to be a fact. You guys tell me you agree or disagree. I would imagine on Monday, maybe Tuesday, they have the athletic director first make his first hello to Rattler Nation. And then maybe the next day, you allow the head football coach to have his presser. I don't think you do it all in the same day. You tell me, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good point, not to have the conflict there, but the excitement is going to be over Queen Gray.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would give Davis, because it's J5. I'm gonna give that to him on J5 if he wants it. I mean, honestly, I don't know if he shows up at all, but hey, if he does, he does. But I would probably do Quinn Gray on Friday, like, just because I think it's really a great way to end the week. Like, and I think that also kind of gives you that time, kind of what we're talking about already. Like, hey, you want to encourage people to start getting involved and buying stuff. That gives you that time to also maybe even, while we're talking about this, set some of that up. Like, hey, season tickets are going to go on sale this day, this so you can start hyping up the football program and do that on a Friday. And then you got that whole weekend for people to start kind of buying in, versus I think if you do it in the middle of the week, it gets lost in the middle of the week.
You know me, I'm not a fan of dropping stuff on Friday unless you don't want anybody talking about it. So I would tend to move something to a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and then that way you got the week for people to talk about. The announcement of the staff, I'm sure that'll come, but from what we're hearing, quite a few coaches, there is going to be change. We were talking about this offline. We've started to already see the announcements from current coaches, that they've posted on Twitter, that they will not be back, and thank you, Rattler football players. Thank you, Rattler Nation. You guys, you guys want to mention anything you guys have seen or observed on socials regarding that? Marcus, Keith?
Well, I did see Coach Williams. I think his was the only person that I saw like announced. I didn't do a lot of looking today, but I think his came out yesterday. But you can see some bio updates, so that gives you a hint too about potentially. Not everybody's jumping on it as soon as the news hits, but.
Yeah, like I saw a recruiting coordinator and running backs coach. He's definitely changed his bio. So, and you even see that with our commitment that we saw today. He listed some coaches on there that aren't familiar to everybody, and on the little @ thing, don't change any colors. So it's gonna be interesting to see who else is going to be there. I mean, we saw you read the tea leaves, you see Baby Burris hit the portal. I mean, just saying 1 + 1 normally equals 2. And then we all know 1 + 2 = go hunt. So, but, it just seems like the writing's on the wall that, with the bringing on of Quinn Gray changes of foot, and he should bring in his own people. I mean, because very seldom do you have a program where you keep the old coaching staff where then later on at the end of the year, you don't hear about some grifting going on. So I think if you want some change, you want some things to be done better, you bring in your people, they do things your way, and it's going to be interesting. I'm like some of y'all. I definitely am listening to some of the speculation because we all expect some change to go on across the street too. So it'd be interesting to see if some of those individuals that are affiliated with that university don't decide to come back across the train tracks.
That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, also see some changes at the FBS level. There's a couple names bandied about even before Quinn accepted the job. So now there's some group of 5 staff changes, which might lend itself to even more fuel on the fire for whatever rumors are out there.
Especially considering the coaching hire Albany State didn't make. They brought in an outsider, which to me that was cool. I mean, it was somewhat a surprise, but I saw who they brought in. I was like, okay, he's got chops, but I was somewhat surprised they didn't retain anybody from Quinn Gray's staff, and so
that tells you something, doesn't it?
Look, so that spoke words to me like, oh snap, okay, it's gonna be interesting. And I don't play with that, man. I don't play. You want to play? Go do something safe, like go play in traffic. I don't play with nobody. EA.
Let me look. I just saw it. The transfer portal opens officially Friday. Again, let me say that we've seen the intentions of what was the number, Marcus? We showed that graphic. I think we got about a dozen guys, maybe more, that have expressed the intent. Any new names? Any new names that caught your eye, Marcus, that you're kind of...
let me pull it up real quick.
While you pull that up, there's, and so the portal window opens January 2nd, closes January 16th, I believe, is the date. So there's going to be a mad dash from Friday to 2 weeks at the end of a Sunday, I think it is. Hold on, let me look at the calendar here because I can look at mine
to see who some of those people are. Because we definitely know, like in the quarterback room, 2 of your 3 quarterbacks are in the portal. Running back room, almost the entire running back room, maybe except for Bo, is pretty much either NFL bound or hit the portal. The receiver room, about half your receivers are in the portal. Offensive line wise, I haven't seen much news. Defensive line, haven't heard much from the defense outside of everybody's favorite corner, number 19. So it's going to be interesting to see what players leave and stay, and then even with that, what players decide that hey, after talking to Quinn, maybe they got the opportunity. I mean, I believe there was a meeting, or may not have been a meeting with the players and the coaches last couple of days. So it's going to be interesting to see who maybe, hey, you're here. I want to get out the portal, and who might be welcome back and who might not.
And also you have the AFCA convention. Thanks, Drew, for dropping that in there. The football coaches convention is July 11th through the 14th. Now that's going to be funny and interesting because while you got coaches possibly looking for jobs, you've got players in the portal. So, I mean, the next 2 weeks in the world of college football they're going to make your head spin. And I applaud any and anybody who is out there tracking and keeping up, because I mean, the number of names, I mean, there's some interesting names, not only from HBCU schools, but just FCS in general. I don't want to hear any more complaining about this school has 40 guys in the portal. Look, that's today. I mean, unless you're a service academy, Army, Navy, Air Force, half your squad is likely to be in the portal. So miss me on being concerned and stop making it a big deal. That's just the way today is, you know. 30% of your 30 to 50% of your program is going to be interested in the portal because the freedom of movement, right? What do you got, Marcus?
Actually, I counted up 15. The last one that I saw, and there may have been another, was Armand Burris, and that was the 24th. I don't know if there's any more folks that declared. I did see Ashton Grable declare for the NFL draft. So he joined.
He didn't have any more eligibility left, did he?
I don't think so. But between him, the only three that I've seen are him, Ricky Taylor, and Thad declared for the NFL. But I count up to 15 players just as of the day before Christmas. So I don't know if there's any more that jumped in. But I feel, man, I guess it's good for the players, I guess. But between the sheer volume of plays, I mean, it's dizzying just seeing stuff pop up on your feed, all the players that are jumping in the portal. So coaches and all these NIL agents or whatever title they wish to give the occupation that they're doing now. I mean, it's just dizzying to see how all these people jumping in the portal in one good season, and folks are looking to get paid. NCAA is basically huddled up over in the corner in the fetal position, talking about no mas, because they're just not trying, letting NBA players who got drafted come back and have college eligibility. So it's like they're just sitting over the corner like,
that whole story is so overblown. That's so
y'all wanted it, y'all got
overblown.
But I'm just saying, it's like between all this stuff converging, it's like, I try to keep up recruiting, but now I'm like, good Lord, I'm not even trying to track. I'm just going to wait to see the list, because the number of people and how all the movement going on and who's doing what and all the agents and people saying their agency said they're leaving and all this other stuff.
How many agencies are there? That's another thing. It's like,
it's not really agency.
Legitimate.
There's no regulation. Yeah, there's no regulation. So it's like, we could probably start up something probably, and then, if we have any kind of legitimacy or sell a good story, we could have some clients.
That's a wild number. Marcus, somebody asked, what was give the names that you kind of 15 Rattlers, give those names if you would.
These are from their social media declarations. There's a couple that have been putting out highlights but haven't actually declared. So I didn't put their names on here, but that's kind of like one of the hints. Antonio Cayman, defensive end Antonio Cayman. Do you want me to just share this?
No, it's easier. It's faster if you just read them, if you don't mind.
Okay. Tight end Andrew Ritter, defensive back Amari Lee, long snapper Jack Carson Wentz, place kicker Daniel Porto, tight end Miles Campbell, athlete Ja'Cory Jordan, quarterback RJ Johnson, wide receiver Goldie Lawrence, defensive back Justin Bostic, running back Jamal Haley, quarterback Jet Petty, wide receiver Kanari Wilcher, wide receiver Jalen Rogers, wide receiver Amon Burris.
You forgot what you calls in the portal. Did you say QB1?
No, he did.
RJ?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or QB2? Yeah, see, I saw what
you. So that's what I have so far, but once again, that's all based on if somebody put something on social media. So it's not like I have an official where I have access to that database. So it's all based on that.
It's going to be interesting. The more we hear some of these coaches complain, and was it Calipari was complaining about the portal, and we're hearing these coaches complain about it. eventually I think something may be changed, but the problem is, how do you change the transfer portal and also try to somewhat fit the academic calendar? That's one of the big problems you're going to have, because if you move the transfer portal to after the spring, then these students are, one, missing spring football, but two, like, now they're pretty much coming in during the
they
summer.
have to go to spring football at the school that they're enrolled at.
Right. So that's, how do you do this, especially when the bowl games are when they are? Like, so which one's more important? Is it, we know the money is what matters. Nobody cares about these kids being athletes and students, excuse me. But that's going to become the problem, because you're either going to have to do that, or you're going to have to create something to where, I personally said this before, I believe college football should adopt the college baseball mindset, and wherever you go your first 2 years is where you stay for 2 years. I think that's the best model. So that way, after 2 years, you're a free agent. You can go, but first 2 years should be at one place, kind of start there, grow there. And that gives the coaches, the fan base, even the student, everybody a chance. And you think about it, your first 2 years of school is normally you at least earn an associate's degree. So that also, to me, helps with the APR, if you want to keep that APR stuff going, to where, hey, they're making some type of progress towards a degree before they leave. So that's just my take. That's my 2 cents. And we don't have pennies anymore. So, it's worth what it's worth.
All right. Let's Marcus, I know we gotta let you go. So before we sign out for the year with you, Marcus, I want you to kind of give us maybe just one item, or just kind of what was your biggest story or your biggest event that occurred from the 2025 year. And again, of course, that's
athletics or school-wise.
You can go either, wherever you want to go, Marcus.
Well, you know what it was, athlete school-wise.
I assume nothing. I know nothing.
I don't know. Like I was telling y'all before, if we all due respect to Cardi B, if we retweaked, put Venom on Am I the Drama as the graphic, that would just describe 2025, her latest album cover. But the biggest non-athletic story, of course, was our presidential search, or our presidential appointment. But from an athletic standpoint, I think the one that I really enjoyed the most, and I was telling you this off camera, was in women's track and field. Whereas looking at my recollection, it was kind of nip and tuck, and I think we were behind. I think we were like in third or fourth place, maybe even fifth place on either the second to last day or the start of the last day, and then the ladies just like took off. So I was sitting there, trying to, refresh my screen on what was that, milestat.com, whatever that website was. I was like, come on, and then you saw the points rolling up, and it was just hype. And then and even with I think it was the 4x100, where we had a disqualification when we finally got ahead, and I was worried. I was like, oh, did that happen? But the ladies pulled it through and won the SWAC women's track title. Outdoor, yes, outdoor. So that was really exciting, and also the performance of the ladies on that day, on that last day.
Okay. Yeah, that was a fun day. That was Sunday was day 3, I think it was, right? Sunday was day 3, and part of it was this is the genius of Coach G, Coach Garfield Ellenwood II. For those of you who don't know him as Coach G, like we do, friend of the program. The genius was that he knew the points, and he knew the events, and he knew that we would score enough points and place enough in the right events. And the girls just had to go out and do their job. And it did help. I think Marcus, the one event that underscored it for you was the oh man, hold on. Let me see. I'm in it now. Let me see if I can pull it up quickly. I probably can't. But it was one of the distance races where when we were looking at the points and how they were being calculated, because we were like right behind Alabama State, the points worked out in a way where our distance runners finished ahead of the Alabama State runners, and they actually finished below where I think even the commentators thought, or where they were kind of predicted or thought to finish. And we actually finished better than maybe people thought. And that was the margin that pushed us over the top. And then, like you said, we just brought it home in the end. And then, yes, you mentioned the 4x1 or the 4x4, one of those two relay races that we technically didn't win, but we won the damn thing. We killed that race, but because of an error or a violation, we ended up being DQ'd. But it didn't really matter because we had already kind of wrapped up the title by points. But that was fun to watch, and I feel like we did the same thing the year we won the indoor, the previous season. The year we won the indoor, we kind of did it in a similar fashion because most of our main events were the sprints, and that's where we kind of succeeded. So good stuff. We'll talk about that, and I'll go through some of the superlatives of the individual track runners, and we'll kind of highlight that a little bit coming up later in the show. But we're going to get ready to head to a break, and then when we come back, we'll do our best of 2025 recap. And Keith and I will do that. And you guys in the chats, we want to hear from you. We want to know what your best of 2025 moments were, or the individual performances that you enjoyed the most. Marcus, if I don't see you, I'll see you next year. Yes, and I wish you and your family a prosperous and healthy 2026.
Well, thank you. And same to you, and same to all of our O&G family.
There it is. Let's take that first break. When we come back on the other side, Keith and I will go through the best of 2025. Watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
It's the 37th Annual Zora Festival. It's in Edenville, Florida, Saturday, January 31st and February the 1st. On Saturday, the all-white party tribute to Frankie Beverly with bass guitarist Jubu. Bread, Sunset, and Taisha Williams. And on Sunday, the Line Dance Party Live with Jeter Jones, Mike Clark Jr., and Boss Lady Coco. Tickets available at zorafestival.org.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
This is Quinn Fordham Gray Sr., head football coach here at Florida A&M University. I'm excited to be home and I'm excited to get started. I'm looking forward to building on the foundation that have been laid by our predecessors. That foundation allows us to make sure that we are all in. All in for us is attitude, little things, love, intelligence, and now. With that, it also encompasses our pride, our accountability, and making sure that we're doing what's right and what's best for our university. With that, the Restore the Strike campaign has now begun. $250,000 is what we're trying to raise for our student athletes here on campus. We're asking for donations of $250, $500, and $1,000 to build the momentum taking this thing into the 2026 season. We're asking that all of you are all in, just as I am, here on campus. Click the link below and make sure that you're all in with myself and Rattler Football.
All right. Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan and Keith here. Again, want to encourage you guys to be a part of the Restore the Strike campaign, where you can, even if you don't have a 250, I'm sure they won't turn away your money, whatever it is that you have to give. I was going to put if I can find the way to get to it, I can put the QR code up on the screen for y'all. Let me get that up here in just a second.
250. That's an interesting number. I tell you what.
Why? What strikes you about that?
Never mind. That sounds like almost the exact amount of a coach's salary.
Keith, I don't know what are you implying, Keith?
Oh, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Don't be messy. Don't be messy, Keith. Jesus. My goodness. I don't know. Why can't I get trying to get the assets here.
I love EA's comment though. I do love how we embrace Say La La, and it sounds better than the SOS Band's version. I'm sorry. Like sometimes the band version just sounds better. Like there's certain songs that when the band plays, you're like, oh, that's my jam. And then you hear the real thing. You're like, man, that's trash. Hey in the Middle of the Barn is another one. Like you listen to the original Hey in the Middle of the Barn by Crucial Conflict, and you're like, what in the world is this? But then you hear the band play it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know what? It's funny. The one time I had heard the 100 play Hey, it was at the Florida, and obviously it was the Florida Classic. I don't know which year it was, but when they played it, seeing the student section went bananas. They went nuts. And I was like, the song itself is a banger. The song itself, if you know, it's a banger. But hearing the students react to it or seeing them, I can just imagine what it was like during the year. But it's not a regular. I haven't heard that in years. Maybe
the alumni band plays it, but that's about it. They need to put it back.
Must be a reason they don't let the young kids play it. But anyway, there's always a reason.
Always
All right. Yeah. What? Hold on, Keith. I'm sitting here.
Brian's got haters, man.
Huh?
Brian's got
let me put
haters.
on this comment. Yeah, there are a ton of songs that the 100 don't play anymore. All right, so I'm seeing some of these good memories. All right, Keith, let's kind of run through some of the 2025 moments. Let's kind of start with some of the hirings of the year, right? I think there's some significant hirings that took place before we get into, highlighting the teams and the players. Let's talk about the significant hirings of this season. And yeah, we can start first off with back in April on the heels of the SWAC tournament, basketball tournament. We saw a good friend of the program, Josh Padilla, leave to take an opportunity in Toledo, I think it was, and it brought over Dennis Driscoll. Dennis came over from Alabama State. Matter of fact, right on the heels of being a part of them in their NCAA tournament run. Dennis came over as the senior associate AD for brand advancement. Right. So that happened. And then this is how busy April was. While all of that was happening, it also triggered, we saw some changes in the basketball landscape, the men's basketball landscape, where, the whole situation involving Coach Crary came to a head, and it eventually led us into Coach Charlie Ward coming over to be FAMU 16 men's coach. And it was kind of interesting, Keith, how all of that whole, where one coach, and a lot of this was being kind of speculated and hinted at. I mean, I'll tell you now, Keith, I wasn't at the SWAC basketball tournament, but I wish I could have been, because there was so much going on off the court. There was so much going on off the court that it was unbelievable. Because trust me, nothing happens in a
happenstance.
Trust me, while certain schools may have been trying to figure out what they were going to do, the chain of events started with Alabama A&M. Obviously, they started it by figuring out what they were going to do with their coach. Once they decided not to bring back their coach, then everybody was looking over at us because our coach hadn't signed his extension. And then notice, while we're looking left, over on the right, they're courting Grambling State's coach, Dante Jackson, who Dr. Paul Bryan had a relationship with. That triggered the move from Jackson to go to Grambling to Alabama A&M, which then left the opening at Grambling State. And of course, Jackson and Crary have a good relationship. So, guess who puts in a good word? Hey, take a look at my guy. You saw what he did. Yeah, I'll give him some money. We'll give you all the things that FAMU wouldn't give. I think there's a song about that, right?
Joe.
All the things. Oh yeah, exactly. Joe. all the things your man wouldn't do, I do for you. So there it is. Grambling came in like Joe, and they swooned our coach. And next minute, he's on a plane. And while he's on a plane trying to figure out what he's going to do, our AD, she moves. She had to move on to the next thing. She was ready to go, so. And next minute, we end up with Charlie Ward. And I gladly poke out my chest on that one, Keith. Called that one, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Called that one. One of the few things I got right in 2025 was Charlie Ward coming over. What's been your, and think about all that's come. What's your thoughts and your significance? What's the significance, in your opinion, of Charlie Ward coming to FAMU? And now that we've kind of seen it play out over the last 7 or 8 months, really.
I think you got lucky. I mean, it's, and when I'm saying that, I'm not saying that he's the greatest X and O's coach, and he's the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, he's on the wrong side of 1911. That's all well and good. But jokes aside, I think you got lucky because you found a good dude, like, well respected in the community by all people, not just your people, but even the people who don't look like you. Charlie Ward's very well respected in Tallahassee, and he played in the NBA, so he has that experience. He has coaching experience. He has successful coaching experience at the high school level, and he also played football, national championship level, and he's building roots in the community that are gonna potentially extend past this time at FAMU. And I think that was something that was unique to what Charlie Ward is and what he was doing. Because I mean, when you just look at that kind of thing like there, that makes it easier to court him at a time where, let's be honest, if the situation wasn't the same, do you end up with Charlie Ward at FAMU? And it's an opportunity where he may not be looking at FAMU as a stepping stone job. He may be looking at it as a place to build and just stay because he has business on the court and off the court in Tallahassee.
Yeah, indeed. I see somebody said, I think we got Coach Ward because of relationship. I feel 1,000% confident in saying that we got Coach Ward because of a relationship. But that's what this game is. That's what college athletics and if you look at the movement that is happening in college athletics, not just by student athletes, but by coaches, it all comes down to relationships. Relationships matter, we've seen it work in many ways. We've embraced it. Coach Ward, we've disapproved of it. So we know when. Yep. Right? So, but even those happenings, they came about because of relationships. So
JT, yeah. You funny. They don't like to be called that. But I think the other thing is you look at his staff, that goes back to, the other piece of relationship matters. Coach Laz is listed as an assistant coach, but that dude's a monster. Like, you quietly have somebody who, if he really desired, could probably leave FAMU and go to a lot of Power 4 schools as their general manager tomorrow. So I think you have to look not only at who Charlie Ward is as a person and kind of the roster he's developing, but look at the staff he's developed. And if that's a staff that can have some success and that can retain for a while, you might actually be able to flip FAMU basketball into a proper mid-major and not just a mid-major in title only.
Yeah, good point. Let's move on here. Hires of 2025. Now, this hire was significant from a couple of different fronts. It occurred in November, where, obviously we were dealing with not just one, but a couple of interim athletic directors this past summer. But John Davis. So after President Marva Johnson had been in office over the summer, this fall, she announced the appointment of John F. Davis as Vice President and Director of Athletics. And also significantly, his hiring also significant because it tied in with Angela Suggs, who was formerly the Vice President and Director of Athletics as far back as June, till she went on permanent leave in June under former President Beard, or former interim President Beard. And then she became the special assistant to the president and advisor for intercollegiate athletics. So it's sort of a twofold announcement here that came with AD Davis. And of course, Davis is currently or was currently serving as the secretary of the Florida Lottery, a position that he's held for the past 5 years. He's guided the Florida Lottery in terms of making it a $9 billion enterprise that funds public education statewide. I'm reading right out the press release. It's not off the top of my head, just in case you wondered. The agency established new systems and processes that achieved record-breaking revenues. The lottery is currently the #1 spot in the nation in total sales. He's coming, taking that role. And I think also, while we may look at it and say, well, he doesn't have any athletic administrative appearance or background, he has run a large organization. And so if we're looking, and of course he's also, let's not, he is a former Florida State football player and alum. And so he comes in with a background in organizational leadership. And so between that and AD Suggs providing sort of the background in athletics, we see what it yields. You can't say he hasn't run anything because he's run the lottery. How can you say he hasn't run anything because he's run the lottery? I'm not going to do this with y'all today. I respect all your opinions, but
you definitely run the lottery. That's my brother in Christ and my brother in frat chapter. So, hey, I'm wishing them the best. Looking forward to some great things. And I believe it's a 1-year deal. So, very, very, very handsomely compensated. Looking forward to seeing him hopefully do some great things. And looking forward to some achievement.
Biggest challenge for AD Davis or VP Davis is what, Keith? I'll give you 2 things. Give me 2. I know it's tough because there's a lot. 1 or 2 things.
Sorry, I had to mute my mic because if you read my lips, you heard it. But Black people, you're dealing with us at a time when we don't trust you, and you're dealing with an alumni base that doesn't trust the leadership. And so you're coming in as another person who's coming in from Florida State. And our last experience with someone from Florida State wasn't great, as far as especially former FSU football player. I guess Charlie Ward would be the last one, but so you have to deal with that distrust. And then you have to also deal with the fact that we see the fact that you're not experienced as far as an athletic director. You're coming in here and this is your first time really coming in here, and not only first time coming into FAMU, but for those who are kind of leaning towards the other side of this, you got a significant hike in coins to come to Florida A&M University after leaving the Florida Lottery. So those are going to be some of the challenges. And then what new ideas are you bringing? Because the layperson, or I shouldn't say layperson, the connected person is not going to give you credit for anything you do. Anything that you do is going to be credited to Angela Suggs. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. As Kelvin would say, we don't duck no smoke, right? So we're gonna keep it a bean. Like anything you do that's successful is probably gonna be credited to Angela Suggs. So I wish him the best. I look forward to achievement. Achievement is what we do. Achievement in every field of human endeavor. That is the tagline. And in this field of human endeavor, I'm looking for some achievement to happen at FAMU. And if you want some ideas, feel free to watch Fangs Up, the O&G StrikeZone, any one of these shows, and we'll definitely tell you, hey, these are some of the failures. But he also has access to Rattlers in high places. He not only has the president, but he's got high-ranking alumni that are a phone call away that he knows personally. So, and I'm not speaking to me. I'm not high-ranking. I'm just a regular dude.
I'm like, oh, okay.
No. I'm like Jeezy. I'm the streets. I ain't know. I'm just a regular dude. I just be in the streets a little too much. I know the dirt. But I think those are going to be his challenges. And coming up with new things, bringing those things to fruition, and dealing with the bounce back and the pushback from us.
And I would encourage us in 2026 to not do what will seem easy to do and credit Angela with everything that happens. I know she is a selfless person and wants to see what's best for FAMU. So while you all others will want to give her, she will give it to FAMU. She will give it to whomever because she loves FAMU enough to want to see FAMU succeed. And I think we have to be not diminishing enough in public spaces to not give the people the opportunity to have their shining moment, because at the end of the day, they're ours now. And I heard somebody say this about President Johnson. President Johnson is ours now. We may have disliked everything that went into it, but she's ours. So we got to make it work. John Davis is ours now. We got to make it work. So, I'm just, just saying that, okay. All right.
He's familiar with Tallahassee, so it's not right. It's not something that.
Let's just watch it grow. Let's see what it becomes before we are so quick to, dismiss it, because it could turn into some positive things. And I think there's enough people that are going to be in place to help make athletics grow into what it could be. And I think that's a win for FAMU, and more importantly, a win for our student athletes, a win for our coaches, a win for the programs overall. Can't win. I'm not even trying. But let me.
You are the scarecrow.
I'm all about FAMU, Tim. I'm all about FAMU, Tim. I want FAMU to win. It's not about being a company man. I'm trying to see FAMU win. Another good hire. What'd you say?
I need to work on these colors. These flyers, that orange ain't orange enough. Like that ain't the right orange.
Because obviously how Photoshop works, Keith. I mean, that was probably some. First off, great job in terms of whomever was able to make it look like he was, because I don't think that's a photo from back when he was a former offensive coordinator. I'm just gonna say that.
That's Albany State photo.
So props to everybody who did a great job on the photoshopping here. Okay, let's just be satisfied with what we got. But anyway, Coach Gray comes in. Little known fact, didn't know his middle name was Fordham. So that's interesting. The full name out there. And obviously staffing wise, hear me out on this, and let me tell me what you think about this analogy. I talked about this on Sunday. There's another big time hire in the SWAC, right? Obviously over there at Southern, and I said the comparison that coach will have to deal with is two other coaches that have come from the professional football world, NFL, well-known names, right? And I'm talking the guy at Dell State, the guy at Norfolk State, right? That guy's comparison will be to those. One who had a great year, one who had a real bad year. So there's a lot of room to work in the middle. Quinn Gray's comparison, and I don't know if we're going to do this, it's still to be determined, but from the outside, he's got two coaches that have also come from Division II that have won at a high level at the Division II, like he did. And they came in year one and bam, hit it out the ballpark. Is the challenge that he has to deal with, Keith, going to be dealing with that expectation? is because people are going to compare his success in his year one to Chennis Berry and Tremaine Jackson. And unfairly or not, that's just what it's going to be. Agree? Disagree?
I agree. I mean, I said it up front. I expect 7 wins. Like, that's just me. I expect 7 wins next season. Just full disclosure. So I think that is a fair comparison. But you even go past Chennis Berry, and you can also go all the way back to Connell Maynard. I mean, look what he did when he first kind of came in Alabama A&M and kind of shook it up. I mean, you consistently see where these guys who come up from Division II, who have some adequate support, they do pretty well. So I think that's something there. I think the only thing that's a problem with the comparison to Marshall Faulk from Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick is, I think and it sucks to do this, you really almost have to compare Faulk more to Deion because of how they built their staffs. Like, no, Marshall Faulk doesn't have the name that Deion does. Yes, he is an NFL Hall of Famer, but look how he built his staff. That's the big difference. When you look at what Deion did at Jackson State, he brought in NFL coaches to help coach that team. You didn't see that at Norfolk. Michael Vick just brought some of his homeboys, is what it looked like. And then Deshaun Jackson, he brought people who aspire to be coaches. I believe Clinton Portis and some other guys. But you start looking around, what's going on at Southern is closer to what went on at Jackson State. Whereas, hey, I'm going to bring this inexperienced guy who has no coaching chops. But in this case, Faulk actually has some coaching chops because he actually coached in college. And I'm going to surround him with experienced veteran coaches. Whereas I think with Quinn Gray, what you're seeing is he's coming in with, 2 6-win seasons, the amazing winning year he just had there, which honestly, he probably would have beat Newberry if he had his quarterback. I mean, it's kind of like, that's going to be the barbershop conversation up there, and we'd have had our quarterback. We'd have got them boys. Come on, man. You already know. But I think that's the reality of the situation when he comes to FAMU. And we said this. I mean, y'all said this. I didn't say it. Like, that FAMU Albany State game for a lot of fans was an interview. And you put on a show in front of the home people and you almost beat your alma mater. Like, let's call a spade a spade. If you swap talent, FAMU loses by 20. And that's just my personal opinion. Like, so I think when you're kind of looking at what Quinn Gray is and what he has put up there, the question is, can he get past 8 wins? Can he do what Tremaine did? Because that's where I'm looking at. Can you do the 8-win thing? Can you do the 9-win thing? Can you take out Jackson State in the East? Because how many transfer portal guys do they have? And they're rebuilding. So it's an arms race between your 3 best teams in the East. And can Quinn Gray assemble some of his guys? And is he going to do what Chennis Berry did and what Tremaine did and bring his best Division II players up with him and have them show that they're actually Division I caliber guys?
So it's interesting. I'm hearing, and I'm gonna put Steve. 7 wins. You said it. He said it. 7 wins already is the floor.
Yes, absolutely. Heck, you should have won 7 games this year. Like, this year's over, but you should have won 7 games this year. Like, inexcusable.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying we're coming in already. You guys are, and I'm not going. You Southern folks, we got Southern friends in here. You guys are telling me you're not going to compare them to other coaches, but that's not true. You guys will. At some point, you will, and I think we're going to do the same thing. And I'm just pointing out. I don't like to use the word fair, but that's the expectation. You guys all talked about the standard is the standard and all that, blah, 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 that Mike Tomlin taught, right? And we heard that all year.
Colby
Standard
is the standard. Colby said it first. We was just quoting him.
Okay, that's what we were doing? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm just saying the 7 wins is the floor. Good enough. Now I know. And so but but I'm storing these away. I'm just storing it away. Everyone who's telling me, no, we're not going to do this. No, okay. I'm storing it away because I love this comment here now this is an interesting thought here by Tim. Former alum athletes as head coaches haven't had a good run, and he points out Riley and Holmes, while non-FAMU coaches have. It's
None of them had coaching
Tim.
experience either. None of them had head coaching experience outside of at the college level too. So that's one of the things that's also very important. When you look at Ken Riley, he's an amazing athletic director. I mean, he was all right coach. No college coaching experience. Earl Holmes, no college coaching experience. I think he was like coaching down here in Lake Mary, something like that. So, I think with Quinn, I think that's the caveat. And that was the question. Yeah, look, y'all know I was first one to say I wanted Tremaine. But especially when Kelvin put that metric up there, it kind of showed that, hey, Quinn's on that same kind of trajectory to do something similar. So, and I was at the Albany State game. I was on the field. I saw what y'all saw. I was like, he out coached us with a limited quarterback. He made that quarterback look better than he was. Like literally, he's rolling the guy to the right side of the field, cutting the field in half. The kid only has to read half the defense, half the field, and he's executing.
Okay. Good stuff. Let's Lord have mercy, the internet picked Quinn.
I saw that one.
Lord have mercy.
The streets definitely picked Quinn.
I mean, look, y'all had him picked after, but by the end of September, y'all had him picked. Y'all had him. Yeah. Any other significant hires that I may have missed?
I'm waiting to see what the bowling coach does. I mean, I'm that kind of FAMU nerd. Like, I want to see what he does. And then
but he was hired. He was hired in 24 though. He wasn't hired.
But I hadn't seen everything he can do yet. So I'm still waiting on that. I didn't with the track team. Didn't we get our cross country coach too?
Oh I forgot to mention Coach Tamika. I forgot to mention Tamika Kinchin. Yeah, Coach K. She became the new head cross country coach. Obviously, she'd been a part of the staff and the winning staff in the women's program. So yeah, there's a significant hire. But I think I got most of the hires. All right, before we go down our champions list and our top performers from the year, let's bring in another member of the O&G StrikeZone family. I think he's managed to make his way in from off of some of his responsibilities and duties that he's been running around. Welcome into the show. None other than it must be cold in Tallahassee. Kelvin Rozier, boy. It must be cold. How you doing? Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Kelvin, how you doing?
Happy New Year. Happy holidays to everybody, man. I'm just coming in from the outside, brother. And it's icy cold Medina around here. And I was coming from South Georgia, so and with I was at Wild Adventures theme park with my daughter and 3 of her friends. So they had a ball. The sun was out early. When that sun went down, it was time to come make it home, buddy.
Hey, look, exactly. And when you got the skull cap on in the house, you're still coming in from the cold, and the house ain't warm enough just yet.
That part.
That's telling you. That's telling you that part. All right. So look, we're just about to get into the roll call for our champions roll call. We're trying to think back in the best of 2025, Kelvin. We had 4 programs that won championships, major conference championships in 2025. Of course, we had our golf program win the SWAC. Back in the, I think I got a nice, hold on, I got one graphic. Let me see. I got several graphics, some timely, some not. I didn't get a chance.
Our equipment staff should have won a championship too.
What's that?
Our equipment team should have won a championship too, man. They worked some miracles.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Man, look, the uniform combinations and some of the stuff, man, look, our equipment staff is amazing at FAMU.
Oh, okay. Well, we did have this nice run of 2 championships in a 7-day time span where We recorded our 200th conference championship back when golf, and then followed up by tennis won championships. And at that point in the season, it gave us 10 conference championships. At that point in the year, we were the 3-time volleyball champs, 2 times in women tennis, golf, cross country, indoor, baseball, and football. All that had been done at that point in the year. Of course, for the tennis program, 2nd tournament title in 3 years, 3rd consecutive finals match. So all of that occurred from the tennis side of things. Then a little bit later in the year, women's outdoor track and field. Marcus kind of talked about that, about being one of his top moments of the year. And so we kind of finished off the 24-25 academic year, winning that SWAC championship. And then we came into the fall, and our volleyball team, as the 8th seed, won their back-to-back championship. And of course, it was the 5th consecutive year that we were in the tournament, or in the championship game, 4 of the last 5 titles. So I ask you fellas, as great as they all are, which championship run was maybe the most enjoyable, or if we had to say quote unquote best, which was the most best or maybe the most unexpected?
Okay, yeah.
Kelvin.
That's
Kelvin.
2 questions.
I'll go to Keith first, and then come to you, Kelvin.
I got to give it to the golf program and their championship. They were just dominant. They won about 5 tournaments with a very young team. Remember, the team before had graduated a lot of kids. They were very, very, very dominant, and they kind of positioned our golf program to where it is now with this team, where we're almost at a point where we have to do tournaments with other FBS programs, major programs. We're at that point now where we're trying to compete at that level. We don't have that resources yet, but that's kind of our trajectory. So that would be the most dominant or best championship. I would say the most surprising, you didn't know we were going to get there, I probably have to go with tennis. Because women's tennis is pretty competitive in the SWAC. They didn't run through it like previous years where, they were sweeping
we were
everybody.
the 3 seed. Yeah, I think we were the 3 seed going into the tournament.
Right. So for them to come out of get to the tournament and do that championship pedigree, that's the thing about us. Because those programs that have played in a lot of championships and they used to winning, it just kicks in when the moment arrives. And I suspect you'll see something similar with the softball team this year too. If we get to that championship game this time, I completely expect us to finish. But yeah, tennis was the big surprise program.
What about you, Keith?
I'll start with big surprise volleyball for me. I mean, because at that point we all were kind of saying like we expected them to be competitive, but then to see them just kind of run through it like that and like do it at home, like it was not only unexpected, but it was special because with cross country is one of those ones we always host, cross country, and you don't get to value it because you don't really get to watch it as much, but because of the having it in Lawson and everything else, I think that was the most unexpected, and that kind of meant a little something more to me because that's our facilities. The track, the cross country, that's the city of Tallahassee. That's a world-class facility. They're about to host a national huge event, bring $1 million to the city. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Literally, that Tallahassee has one of the best cross country race courses in the world, not just nation. So, but to have that at FAMU meant a little something different to me. And then also, kind of like Kelvin said, man, you know, softball making a run like it did, and then tennis and baseball, you know, and just kind of seeing. I know, you know, those are the ones that fell short. It didn't end up in a championship, and of course, golf. Like we got the best golf team in HBCU sports, in my personal opinion. But softball and baseball continuing that trajectory. Can we say the D word with FAMU baseball? Like, this is a dynasty. And for those who didn't grow up with FAMU baseball as a unwatchable product to this is a dynasty. This is the best FAMU baseball we probably had since Pop Kittles.
You're redefining the word dynasty, Keith, I think.
I mean, but when you look at the competition level, like, you know, it's almost to the level of, for me, we're not the Buffalo Bills because we actually won championships, right? Like we actually have been able to consistently dominate. Like the state of Florida runs SWAC baseball. Like if you want to win a championship in baseball in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, it comes through the Sunshine State. You either going to Tallahassee or you're going to Daytona. So coming from somebody who, you know, Coach Durant, all these other guys, great men, but didn't produce on the field, to having Coach Shoup bring his experience. We talk about having these effing Seminoles at FAMU, but remember what he did at Florida State and got shafted. And then he comes to FAMU and look, they ducking smoke, in my opinion, because if they would have called him under the previous regime, FAMU might have got some dubs. With Link there, I don't know, but we're going to give him a fight. Like, I'm just saying, like, FAMU baseball, don't sleep on us.
Well, you can't call them a dynasty yet because, you know, Bethune, what they did in the MEAC was a dynasty.
Yeah.
You know, they had, about 10 championships?
Yeah.
But James has a squad that could be a dynasty. We will see.
Yeah, I'm appreciative of the strong program that we have. I'm not ready. Dynasty, I will give to volleyball. I will give volleyball the dynasty word. I will talk when you go to the title 5 years. And I think for me, that was what's crazy. Let's think about this for a second, fellas. They win as the 8th seed. A year after they went perfect. We forgot all about the fact that the year before they were perfect. Now, we sort of, you know, even though, you know, the SWAC didn't want to give us our flowers and recognize our players and coaches the previous year when they were unbeaten in regular season play and in the tournament, right? So all we did is come back with a whole new squad, a team that they had to take their bumps, they had to figure it out, they had to shuffle the rotations. But at the end of the day, we trust the coaching. You believe the coaching. You trust the process, as that one man said, who built another dynasty in another sport. Trust the process and do your job. And what did the ladies do when it mattered at the right time of the year? They trusted the process. They figured it out, and he planned. The kicker is, as the 8th seed, he prepared them for what they were facing. That's the part that is the wildest thing about that run. And
he called it. He called it on that show.
Yes. He called it. That's why
he said this the first time once he might go down.
I'm like, if I could have only found a betting market to put on college volleyball, I would have made some coin. I would have made some coin. I'd have put the entire house rent money on it. I'd have put it all. I'd have said, Coach Gokon just said we about to beat that 1 seed. Oh, it's on. But so as great as we were dominant in track, so I loved what we did from the track. The tennis program, we still had the best even though they kind of struggled, we still had the best tennis player and probably actually the 2 of the best 3 between Sarah and Reagan. We had 2 of the best, and we had an experienced group who had already been there the 2 previous years. So I wasn't surprised by tennis. Tennis didn't surprise me. Golf, they were young, but Coach Rice, he told us they were good. No, man, what volleyball did as an 8 seed a year after coming out of being a perfect squad, and the coach called it. Come on, that to me was the championship of the year. I mean, I love all of them, but
but I would say they were the 8 seed because of a tiebreaker, though. They really was a 3 seed, tied for a third or fourth seed.
Yes, we could have. That's the crazy part. We could have been the 5 seed. We ended up as the 8 seed, and coach said, "No, we were preparing to be the 8 seed versus the 1 seed, and we spent 2 weeks preparing." That will always be I don't think I've ever heard a coach call a shot like that since we've been doing this. And I mean, maybe we'll be blessed enough and somebody will, but God bless Coach Gokhan for calling that. I mean, he called it and blessed us with that. You guys already mentioned outside of those 4 championships, we did have the SWAC East Division from Coach Beal. And as great as what volleyball did, if we had got that last win, that might have been the story of the year.
No doubt about it.
I mean, if softball had actually, that was a good Jackson State softball team. So, but anyway, had we found a way to beat them that second time in as many days, that would have been the story of the year because of just all the challenges of what that team and just that whole tournament was an outstanding tournament. Baseball, of course. We're 1 out away. 1 out away. I mean, we'll never forget that. We'll never forget that. And he did that with a team that tied for the most wins in the regular season. But because we lost the tiebreaker, which was we lost 3 games to Bethune, we ended up as the 2 seed, which really didn't matter because we ended up playing Bethune in the championship game, right? And so, I mean, outstanding performance by softball and baseball. And then I think also I took note of here, golf this fall, winning the Bridgestone HBCU Invitational. That was a nice little appetizer for what I think we're going to see in the spring, which is a great golf season. So I wanted to make mention of that in terms of overall 2025. Any other team things that we left on the table?
No.
Okay. No. All right. I want to come back and take a short break and mention some of the top performers. There's a long list of some of the top performers. Make sure to also want to mention some of the legends who received some acknowledgement from this past year. And then maybe make mention of the couple of the top stories of the year and such. Going back through the chats now, but if you guys have a top memory, a top performance, or a top event, go ahead and post that in the chat room. And when we come back from the break, I'll kind of do a little run through and point out some of those comments that you guys had in the chat. And then we'll kind of keep going with this. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. Bryan, Kelvin, and Keith will be back in just a moment right after these words.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2026? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 30th to February 1st, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And Enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Hello, I'm Billy Joe. I was the head football coach at FAMU from 1994 through the 2004 season, 11 years. I'm here to encourage you to join me in donating $250 or more to our new head football coaches program, Quinn Gray. He was a member of my FAMU program from 1997 to 2001, 5 years. Those 5 years were FAMU's golden years. We never lost to BCU during that time. We made the NCAA playoffs 5 straight years. And Quinn ran my Gulf Coast offense with precision and intelligence. We beat Troy State University twice and blew out Appalachian State on their own home field during those playoff runs. No HBCU football team has ever won 3 games in the NCAA playoffs in Division I AA. No SWAC team has ever won a game in the NCAA playoffs. Quinn will bring the golden years back to FAMU, but he needs your help, so donate generously of $250 or more to his FAMU football program. And go Rattlers! And strike! And strike! And strike again!
Coach Joe came back and said, no SWAC school has ever won a playoff game. Just to let you know. God bless. Welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, Keith here. I saw in the chat, Rick Kinsey dropped in and reported to us that over $50,000 have already been raised from the All-In Restore to Strike campaign. And that's just a week. Yeah, that's just in a week. That's very good. So
that lets you know what Rattler Nation feels about that this hire.
20% of the way.
You got Coach Joe out here, already, rallying the troops. You got Rick and Rallies at Arms and the foundation and investment staff in a week in which the university is closed. So just think when everything opens up and everybody get past these holidays and really focus in, man, it's a beautiful thing where we headed right now.
Yeah. I know, like I said, I know Coach Colsey tried to connect with the previous generations, with the Hubbard era and those previous groups. And it never came off, I think, as intentioned as he would have liked it to. It was poorly communicated, poorly managed, and I don't know whose fault or responsibility that was, but it was. And so it never really hit like it probably could have or should have. But they tried. But I just found it really encouraging that your former coach, this talks to that connectedness. Your coach just cut a promo for you and your program. And, you know, I love how he emphasized we never lost to Bethune. I mean, just stop.
I love the petty. I love petty.
I love the petty. Look, Coach Joe is petty. Look, you wonder where I got it from. I'm a Coach Joe. I'm as much a Humphreys Rattler as I am a Coach Joe Rattler. So when I tell you my petty level, my petty meter, it comes from a certain place. So I mean,
he used to beat him to the white meat, man.
Look, man, it's your job to stop us.
That's
no
it.
Mercy. No mercy. That's what I used to say. There was no mercy, man. We played 4 quarters, 60 minutes. That's it. If you didn't like it, stop us. That's where it came from. So, man, I just be excited. So now you wonder why we are so excited. Let me see. Let me go through some of the starred comments that I had on some of the best of the best. Meredith, she said the best of 2025 for her, of course, was the 8th-seeded Lady Rattlers winning the SWAC volleyball tournament. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Edwin. Okay, let's see. Edwin, one of the top FAMU memories was what appeared to be a beef. Really? So he thought there was some kind of beef there between former softball coach and the current coach. I don't know. I don't think there was no beef.
No, it wasn't no beef. No, it was no beef between those two.
There was no beef. Actually,
now
go ahead, tell the backstory, Kelvin.
The beef was, Coach Patterson played under JSU coach at Campbell University, and he was for whatever reason in his feelings about stuff, but Coach Bill and Coach P ain't got no animosity.
No.
Coach P recruited young ladies from Coach Bell's program and recommended her, when she
to the previous. Hold on, let me see how many previous it was. It was 1, 2 to the previous AD. Who you couldn't make a recommendation because you knew she wasn't going to take it. But anyway, she recommended Coach Bill. I said it. Might get me in trouble, but I said it.
Nah, you all right. She gone now. Look, you ain't got to worry about her not acting right no more.
I'm still here about that. Spies.
His earrings ain't gonna work no more.
Not no more. Nah,
there's spies. There's spies in the chat. They gonna run and tell.
Oh, they gonna snitch now. You better believe it.
There's some snitches out there. They're gonna run and tell.
Left left Bryan and lost some weight and thinks she fine. Boy, I tell you what, that's how they do
Stop it. Stop, Keith. Moving on. Jesus, y'all are so messy. Let's go through some of the top performers. I kind of did a rundown here. I'm gonna just roll call it out, and I want y'all to just soak it up. I wish I had pictures for all of these great people, but I couldn't find enough time in the day to run through all these pictures. Okay. I'm gonna just run through the names. Okay, coming back and I tried to do it in season order here, so just bear with me here. We had basketball. We had men's basketball. Sterling Young, remember him? He was the SWAC Player of the Year, as well as all SWAC first team. Milton Matthews in men's basketball was the SWAC Newcomer of the Year. Two guys that really enjoyed the heck out of. I think both of them actually finished their grad degrees as Rattlers, if I'm not mistaken. So they are alums. They are alums of FAMU. So, but I think Sterling went on to he's at Indiana State, and I don't know where Milton went. Milton had a year left. I don't know where he went. Where'd you say?
East Tennessee State.
East Tennessee State. Oh, okay. So good. Congratulations to them. In track and field, a host of names, men and women. On the men's side, of course, the performer of the year was probably Kirk Dawkins. Not only was he the SWAC indoor most outstanding track performer, he won the 800 and the mile in indoor. Then in the outdoor season, he won the 1500 and won the 800 meter, and he punched a ticket to the NCAA regionals, I believe, in the 800. So he qualified there. Kurt Powder, men's track and field, he won the indoor 60-meter hurdles. Paul Roden won the men's high jump indoor. Randall Pompey run the men's high jump outdoor. So those are some of the men who had great seasons in track. Oh, and then the women. I mean, not only did we had the fastest woman in the SWAC. She double dipped, winning the 60-meter and the 200 indoor. Then she double dipped, winning the 100 and 200 outdoor. I'm talking about none other than Nia Blocker, the fastest woman in the SWAC. And if she's the fastest woman in the SWAC, maybe the most all-around talented woman in the SWAC was freshman Ariana Ladson, who's now a sophomore. She won the most outstanding women's track performer in the outdoor championships, where she was a champion in the 100-meter hurdles, a champion in the long jump outdoors, and then she finished second to Nia Blocker in the 100 and 200, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And then she was a part of one of the relay teams as well. So I think she accounted for some record number of points. I think it was like 17 or 18 points.
And don't forget it. Our 4x4 got women's got disqualified, and they won that by a lap almost.
Yes. Well, speaking of relay teams, you had the women's distance medley relay team won the indoor championship, and the 4x100 outdoor team won the outdoor relay race. And then, of course, like you said, the 4x4 should have won the outdoor championship.
I mean, they did win it, but
they did win it, but they were disqualified actually. So, also individually, Caitlin Smith won the 400-meter outdoor championship. So that was just some of the women's. Of course, Coach Garfield Ellenwood, the second, was the coach of the year for the outdoor women's season. He's now got an indoor coach of the year and an outdoor in back-to-back seasons. So, Coach G, salute to you, sir.
He has an excellent chance of winning coach of the year, indoor and outdoor, on the women's side for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the squad. That's the squad.
The squad he has, you might as well. It'll be an upset if he don't win indoor and outdoor. And then, but quietly, that men's squad.
Well, that's
they will be
competitive.
They will be in the mix.
Yes, that's what he's been building up. They will be in the mix this year. They actually finished, I think, top. They were in the top half last year in the outdoor and indoor. So they've been a little slower to build than the women's program. But
they didn't have the numbers. They didn't have the number of athletes. They getting close to their numbers now.
Yeah. So we can't wait to see what Coach G and the track program does kind of in 2026. Moving on into the golf season, of course, Sasha Robinson, another outstanding freshman. This young man helped lead the golf team to the SWAC title. He was the low medalist at the SWAC tournament, as well as the freshman low medalist this season. He was a first-team All-SWAC performer. Coach Mike Rice was named the men's golf coach of the year in the SWAC as well. Can't wait to see what Sasha does, and we got some firepower alongside him this year. So golf is going to be right back in the hunt.
The whole team came back. They already won some tournaments and compete. As a matter of fact, I think Sasha was in a tournament with PWIs. Just a couple of days ago. Right.
Yeah.
So, and the other good news with the golf program is, the Capital City Country Club, even though there was some controversy with some, they have sold, the city has sold it, and that will become the home of Rattler Golf. And they're doing a major renovation to that course and adding some things to it. But that will be, so we'll have our own course where we practice and we can play competitive tournaments with. So Coach Rice is steady getting support in pieces that will help to continue to grow his program into even higher heights.
Speaking of Sasha, I'm reading this story. He was selected to compete in the Patriot All-American Golf Tournament, which is one of collegiate golf's premier postseason showcases honoring military service members and first responders. The event was actually started Monday. Usually they're either 2 or 3 days event. So kind of be looking out on social media and FAMU Athletics for updates on how Sasha did. The invitations to the Patriot All-American are issued on a tiered basis through the Golf Coaches Association of America and are limited to currently enrolled collegiate players who are active members of a university golf team. So, and there's the criteria to get in included top 5 finishes from previous Patriot and Thunderbolt events. So it was criteria that you had to have under your belt in order to get in. So congratulations to Sasha, and we'll share updates throughout the week as we get them. You guys might be searching for it right now. We'll know. Moving over to tennis. Sarah Rakim. I mean, what a legacy she has left in the under her belt for FAMU tennis. This past year, she was the SWAC Player of the Year. She was the tournament MVP. She was first team All SWAC from the number 1 position. Sarah I think she's a 2-time SWAC Player of the Year because she won the SWAC Player of the Year 2 seasons ago. And she has led FAMU to 2 tennis titles and a runner-up. We had the pleasure of talking to her on our show. What a pleasure it is to talk to Sarah. I mean, and she will. I think she just graduated this past winter.
Mm-hmm.
She's a legend. Hashtag FAMU legend. Just warm up a spot in the FAMU Athletics Hall of Fame for her in a few years because she belongs there. One of the true legends. Also, Reagan Harris. Reagan has had an outstanding season over the last couple of years. She finished this year SWAC All Tournament team. She was first team All SWAC from the 4 position this year. Reagan has been a part of the program the last 3 seasons and won 2 titles under her belt. I think this year she'll go in as the senior leader on the team, if I'm not mistaken. So Reagan's another one, really excited about her future. Also from tennis team, Susan Salinas finished the year second team All SWAC from the position 6. And then Genesis Whitlock, who I think is also returning this year. She was part of the SWAC all-tournament team from this past spring. So shout out to the tennis program. Moving over to softball. Zoriana Hughes was second team all-SWAC pitcher this year, and Kiana Watson was second team all-SWAC softball. And oh man, you know what? I just realized I forgot about the young ladies who made the all-SWAC tournament team. There were a few young ladies who made that team. I know I feel like we should have had newcomer of the year in SWAC softball, but we didn't get it. But I'm sorry I forgot and didn't write down the names of the young ladies who were part of that group. In baseball, Garrett Workman was the SWAC freshman of the year, pitcher, true freshman from right out of Tallahassee, Florida. Also selected to the HBCU Swingman Classic. And then, of course, another true freshman, Jay Campbell, first team all-SWAC at third base and the HBCU Swingman Classic MVP. Also did a little bit of pitching too, man. Talk about a guy who just did it all, right? And then, of course, last but not least, Brody Popple, all-SWAC, first team catcher, selected in the 13th round of the MLB draft by the San Francisco Giants. Congrats to Brody for doing that and being a part of that. Shout out also to William Brown, Colton Riles, Cody Williams, and Justin Cruz, who were part of the SWAC all-tournament team. One of those guys was very close to being an MVP. I'll just say it like that. But we know how that game ended, heartbreak. But congratulations to all those guys. Moving into the fall, we had Tara Burt from our cross-country squad. She finished 7th in the cross-country championships this fall. We had LaDonna Trantham. She was the SWAC volleyball freshman of the year, also second team all-SWAC as an outside hitter. Farah Farouk was second team all-SWAC middle hitter and blocker on SWAC, in the SWAC. And then Mackenzie Taylor, our setter, she was the SWAC tournament MVP. And then joining her on the all-tournament team were Sydney Whitfield, Farah Farouk, and LaDonna Trantham. And then in the football world, I think football honorees, we had Daniel Porto, who was I didn't pull up any of the SWAC football awards, but I think he finished. Was he first team SWAC, or was he second? He was at least second. If one of you guys can pull it up. And then we had Ashton Grable and who else am I missing? Jason Riles, I think, also received postseason all SWAC honors. Whose performance? And it's a hard one here. This is hard. A lot of great performances. Whose performance or performances were the most enjoyable to follow along this year? I'll start with you, Kelvin, and then go to Keith.
In terms of athletic performance,
athletic performance.
I have to go with the women's indoor and outdoor track and Kurt on the men's side. Yeah. I mean, I call Kurt the most entertaining track athlete in the world. I actually watch his races like I'm watching Carl Lewis back in the day in those sprints and stuff, and Ben Johnson, and so he's made watching the 800 and the 1500 must watch TV for me. And then with the women, they are so many great performances. I don't want to sing one out. Yeah. I like watching. They all perform at an elite level, and so of course, blocker. Absolutely. It's just a joy to watch and a pillar of consistency. Latson, same thing. And then the relay teams. I mean, Just think about it. Blocks, Naya and a blocker and Latson, they actually got out and ran a 4x4 after running the 200 and 100 and all, 4 or 5 events.
We had the fastest. We had not only did we have the fastest woman in the SWAC, but we had the second fastest woman in the SWAC too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How about you, Keith? Any care to single any one performer or performances out?
I'm with Kelvin. FAMU track. And then I think Porto was amazing, but for this year, and I said it all year long. I said it before the season, and it just so happened to, I stuck with it. Nayron was my favorite player on the football team, and I felt some type of way that he didn't get some postseason notification because when he was off the field, you noticed it, and so. I have a buzz from that. Nayron was definitely my favorite player to watch this football season. He was the heart of that football team. But I think, outside of the football team, blocker, Popple getting drafted, that's huge. Like, I think we don't talk about that enough. How often does that happen at a FAMU where our players are getting drafted? And, that just speaks to the importance of, one experience, but then investment. Like Major League Baseball is actually invested in historically Black colleges and universities. Like, no other sports league, maybe the NFL, but gives us that platform like that. Like we get the NFL Network game with the NFL and the HBCU Classic, and it's opened up doors. But the NBA doesn't really do that for us. You consider the demographics in the NBA, you would think we would get that from the NBA, but Major League Baseball, which our numbers aren't large in that sport anymore. But they continuously have come back to us. You're talking about the same place that hosted the SWAC championship hosted a Major League Baseball game. You look at their schedule, there's not a lot of games hosted at Rickwood Field this year. Then you also go back in. So it's just seeing that. And so I'm loving that. And I'll be honest, I'm hoping the SWAC championship moves to Daytona because I think that field is deserving. And
they've done some remodels. They've done some remodeling
nice.
to that stadium.
It's really nice. And
they should put a bid. There will be a bid. I'm sure there will be a bid for that to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. You talked about Nayron being one of your favorites. I got to give a special shout out to Jalen Niles. Jalen Niles, who shortstop from our baseball program. If I'm not mistaken, a 4-year starter.
Yeah.
4-year starter at the hot spot, the shortstop, right, position, right? In his final tournament, not his last game, but close to, he suffers a horrible ankle injury, right? I mean, the kid's been almost an Iron Man all season, all career, and he suffers a devastating injury. And the reception that he received, he was there on site, right? A lot of how do I want to say this? A lot of misconstrued.
You talking about that misinformation?
Yeah, a lot of misinformation was put out regarding his injury, and all I know is he was well looked after, thought of, prayed for, concerned about, and seen by as many people that could see him, did see him in the hospital. And when he came out, he made it out to see his team on the final day, the last game of the season, what would be the last game of the season. He was there, received a great ovation. But I mean, just an outstanding young man. It just goes to speak to, sorry that he couldn't finish his season on the field with his team, but he was there in spirit, and I just wanted to shout him out, particularly, because he is as much as we all love Nayron. I had to make sure we also mention Jalen as one of those guys that he is what epitomizes FAMU baseball. He is what epitomizes FAMU student athletes, and could not mention him. So yeah, good stuff. And it's you guys did a good job. I mean, the track performances were just insane, and I can't wait to see this upcoming season. I still remember that Kirk race with just coming. That might be the single moment of the year where he was literally in last place, kind of going at his own pace, and then all of a sudden in the last 2 laps just said, okay, I'm gonna kick it in now. And he created something that really was his signature for the entire season. I don't know if that strategy will work this year, but it definitely caught people off guard last year, and he did it in both of those races, indoor and outdoor, and it worked to serve this purpose for him. And outstanding runner.
When he get to the NCAAs, it won't work.
Yeah, it was a little bit different when he got to the NCAAs.
Because those guys got kicks.
Yeah, do they? A little bit taller than he is too. Yeah. So I think that kind of made a difference. All right, let me take a mention here. Let me turn here. Let's make a mention of some legends that received some recognition in 2025. Starting off with Coach Veronica Wiggins. Let's see, back earlier this month, a couple of weeks ago, she, along with 3 other softball legends, were recognized by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association into the Hall of Fame, their class of 2026, in which she is the first African-American woman to be recognized for this prestigious honor. This is the top honor among softball. And so Wiggins, of course, who coached from 1990 to 2020, led FAMU to 726 wins in her career, a 281 and 90 mark in the MEAC, won 13 MEAC titles, including a couple of years, the 4 in a row from 14 to 17. Let me see. There was a couple other years where she won 3 in a row, but that year when they won 4 in a row, that spoke to their dominance in that particular era. They made 8 NCAA tournament appearances during her time. She was a 5-time MEAC Coach of the Year, won 40-plus games twice, including the 97 team, which won a program record 43 wins. Of course, the softball field is named after Coach Wiggins, the Veronica Wiggins Field in 2024. She was inducted into the FAMU Athletics Hall of Fame in 2006. And so the induction will take place in December of 2026. So, yeah, congratulations to Coach Wiggins. And then another legend, another FAMU legend that was recognized this year. It was the 75th anniversary of Althea Gibson breaking the tennis color barrier as the U.S. Open spotlighted that groundbreaking moment of a tennis champion. Gibson, of course, attended FAMU on a tennis scholarship, became the first Black athlete to compete at the U.S. Nationals, which is now known as the U.S. Open, in 1950. She went on to win 5 Grand Slam single titles, including consecutive U.S. Open and Wimbledon championships in 1957 and 58, paving the way for generations of athletes of color. She was inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. And there was an unveiling of a statue at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Court or Center, in 2019. That was a nice moment back when the Marching 100 went up there, the FAMU tennis program. FAMU was well represented at the U.S. Open back in late August. So any other legendary moments, anything regarding alums that I think that I might have missed or that you guys want to bring up?
Pam Oliver earning the Broadcast Hall of Fame. That just was recently, though.
Thank you. Yep, there's a good one. Yep, Pam Oliver being inducted into the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Exactly. That just recently came up. Yeah. Anything else that I might have missed?
I mean, just probably, Tiff Green's continued domination, like what she's doing as far as ESPN, like Sister Girls Everywhere. She's doing some amazing things, and if she's not in the FAMU Hall of Fame, it should come pretty soon.
Well, I guess you got to mention Ty then.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to mention Ty. Ty Floyd, FAMU grad, friend of the program. She became the first female voice of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs this past season. So her career continues to spiral in a upward rising trajectory. So congratulations to Ty. Congratulations to Tiffany. A lot of Rattler voices in many places. Our good friend Liv. Yeah.
That's some awards.
Liv is on fire, and so I mean, it's a lot of great voices.
Them Rattlers, them lady Rattlers, man, they sure enough doing it.
Yeah. They doing it, ain't they? They doing it.
O&G got some awards this during the off season too. Don't discount yourself now.
What happened? What?
Y'all got an award for podcasting award this year as well. Now, come on. Now.
Well, we try. We just out here quietly doing the work, man. We doing the work,
doing the people's work,
right? Doing the people's work. JT, you funny. Let me see. I do want to, while we're talking legends, I will take a minute to remember those that we lost in 2025. And I hope I don't forget anybody or didn't forget anybody, but two moments that kind of came up and stuck out in mind to me was, of course, one being the recent passing this past season of Trooper Craig Gaines back in September. So for many of you who may not have known Trooper Gaines, he was on the sidelines. He was there on the sidelines with Coach Colsey as well as Coach Simmons. He was there. He was there at all the games, sideline, on the road trips. And so, needless to say, it was definitely never got a chance to meet him. I mean, when I actually started traveling with the team, it was actually right after that occurred. So I never got a chance to meet him. But as you can see from the comments by not only former coach Willie Simmons, but also former coach James Colsey, they were both well respected and beloved members of the program. And so again, our prayers and condolences out to the Gaines family.
Yeah, Cuz was a good dude, man. Cuz was a good dude. That's my cousin on my dad's side of the family. So
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so and it was crazy. I was talking to one of my other cousins, and we were at the FAU game, Bryan. We drove down for that. And so I was like, she was talking, to be careful, everything else. And I was just flipping through my phone. I was like, I had a picture of him running onto the field from that game. And I was like, I didn't even think about it. I hadn't looked at it, for obvious reasons, besides that, but just for the simple fact we got our ass kicked. But so I was like, just remembering that day and just kind of, we just chilling, didn't even realize all that had happened. So but nah, Cubs is good people though.
Yeah. So again, yeah, just keep the family in your prayers. Also, before the start of the season, we lost a legend, a FAMU legend, a coaching legend, Coach Mickey Clayton, FAMU basketball legend, the only coach to win championships for both the men and women's basketball teams. Passed away at the age of 70, just late August, right before the football season had started. And of course, many of us, you remember Coach, of course, with the Lady Rattlers. And I think he was a coach with the Lady Rattlers first. And then I think later he became a coach with the men. I think that's the order. Is that the order?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I remember him I remember when we were on the yard, he became the men's coach at that point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yep. Good dude.
Awesome. So, condolences, thoughts, and prayers to not just the Gaines family, but the Clayton family and friends as well. And I don't, I hope I didn't miss anybody in that tribute or thinking about anybody, but if I did, apologies. And, we just, keep those folks lifted in prayer as they move into 2026.
I'll just mention
All
real
right.
quick, Flomo,
recently,
band
yes,
director. Yeah, we just lost him. A great rattler who started their program at Florida Memorial, but very well respected in the as you can see with all the tributes coming from across the country. Very well respected rattler who lost his battle with cancer, unfortunately.
Yeah, Dr. Richard Beckford, who actually Florida Memorial, the Roar, was the first band of the year. I think the first year in the year one of the ESPN Band of the Year competition, if I'm not mistaken. It was either year 1 or 2. I know I had a chance to meet him because that was, let me see, what was the year we actually, that was the year 1 because funny thing, that was the year FAMU was playing 23 because we were playing in the Celebration Bowl. And I remember being at Media Row and I had a chance to, I was familiar with the Roar and I had a chance to meet and stop and talk to him for a few moments. And then, they went on to win the Band of the Year competition in year 1. So they were the inaugural. He was the band director for the Division II Band of the Year in its inaugural season. Of course, Miles College has won the past 2 years. But, Dr. Richard Beckford just recently passed.
And Gail is absolutely right. Definitely cannot forget about Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I didn't know if that happened. Did that happen in 25? Mr. Jackson passing? I can remember if it happened in 24 or 25, but if it did happen in early 2025, then my apologies for not mentioning that. I thought that might have been 24.
It's 24.
I think it was 24. Okay. But I mean, obviously the legacy of Mr. Jackson carries on through the Eddie Jackson 220 quarterback club and Vaughn Wilson and Dr. Jackson and everybody there who do a great job with that organization and keeping his name alive through all the works that they do in support of FAMU athletics. Some other stories of the year, gentlemen, that as we get ready to kind of wrap it up here, I'd like for you to kind of look at, there were some things that happened during the year that I'd love to hear your, what was your, I don't know the best way of saying it, our non-event game story of the year. You got all kinds of things. You had things that happened. Of course, obviously you had, FAMU and Tallahassee hosting the SWAC volleyball and cross country. You had the Rattler in Arms and the Plant City chapter initiative raising over $76,000 for the FAMU golf canopies. I don't know if this qualifies as a best of, so I'm not going to mention it. I will say, I'm reading off the script here, so if you go to the third bullet, you know what I'm talking about. How about 96.1 Jams coming back as the official radio home for FAMU football? That was a pretty cool thing. New state-of-the-art LED lighting system in Bragg.
Yeah.
Club Bragg came alive this year. What else? FAMU opted into the house settlement this season. Regional appearances in the NCAA by not only FAMU tennis, but FAMU golf and FAMU volleyball occurred this year. And then for me, this is my story of the year. I thought the SWAC softball tournament and FAMU's performance in the SWAC softball tournament was the story of the year. We went 5-2, played 7 games over 10 days. We played four of those 5 wins were 1-run games. 3 of those 4 were walk-off wins in the bottom of the inning. We knocked out Bethune-Cookman. We knocked out Alabama State. Sorry, Coach P. Knocked them out in dramatic fashion. Then we forced a Jackson State team that hadn't lost. We forced them into a final day that was actually pushed from Saturday to Sunday morning. So just an outstanding story and season that we had. I don't know. Anything else in there, guys? What's a story of the year that you got, Kelvin or Keith, that you want to add to this?
Outside of what you already mentioned, I think you mentioned all the good ones.
Yeah,
Did I mention?
Well, I think Quinn Gray's definitely that's got to be one of the stories for the year. Like
Quinn Gray coming home, story of the year.
Quinn Gray coming home because it's a full circle moment. That's part of it. But I think one of the things, I think you mentioned the Rattlers in Arms, but let's not undersell what they did.
Right.
They raised at this point right now, they've raised over
$200,000.
So I think, I said it kind of, tongue in cheek, but I was also kind of serious. You're a new kind of stupid if you don't call Rick Kinsey and ask him, do we want to work for FAMU? And I know that's not something he necessarily may want to do, but you're a new kind of fool if you don't sit up there and one alumni plus a team is doing things that no other HBCU is doing and nobody in your staff is doing, respectfully. Like, I definitely would try to make that call, but I think that's something we can't undersell because it's more than $76,000. That brother's responsible for over $200,000 in a year at a historically black college university. And he's done it for not just the revenue sports. He did it for the non-revenue sports. And now he's going back and saying, all right, cool. I did it for golf. Now, all right, I've done it for track. Now I'm coming for football. That's wild to have somebody that is one that dedicated and that dutiful to Mother FAMU. That's wild.
That's a good one. That's a good one. How about you, Kelvin? Story of the year.
I'm pretty tough, man.
Made him think on this one, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty tough. I'm trying to think. Maximum impact.
Hard to impress, hard to please.
Yeah. I'm when we get to P3.
That'll be the story of the decade.
Exactly.
Look, you know some of y'all board members gonna push for that.
Well,
we
make it happen.
We starting to wear on people.
Yeah, they wear on people and wear in their pocketbook.
Come on, Kelvin, can't think of something?
No, but keep it moving.
All right. I mean, I'm trying to get us out of here. I'm trying to, I'm trying to see, you guys in the chat have done a great job, posting your best stuff for the year.
Impact of Rattler Nation.
You see, it's crazy. It's crazy. I've even went through, I tried to go sport. You see where I tried to go sport by sport, and then I had to stop myself. I was like, oh,
yeah. I think the impact of Rattler Nation
there.
is something else, Brian. Like that's something else we have to talk about. Like, just with O&G is sports, but it's also that other piece. How impactful has Rattler Nation been when you start looking at? Think of the board of trustees meeting from a few weeks ago, when they were saying alumni giving is down, and then all of a sudden the president starts making some changes, and some of those changes are meant to drive alumni giving. Rattler Nation, as Kelvin spoke to earlier, we might not hire you, but sure as sugar get you fired. And one of the things that I think those in power that are affiliated with FAMU and not affiliated with FAMU have really learned that we mean what we say about our dollars, and especially with Negroes, when we tell you we're not going to give, and if you don't do something we like, we mean it. And you definitely fought this year. And hopefully you do a better job, because we speak with our dollars, and when we're not happy, our dollars show it.
I think the next step to that point, since you brought that up, the next step for this administration is transparency. And I'm just saying, get from behind orchestrated, coordinated, cliquish releases, and come on the O&G, go to the National Alumni Association convention and speak straight from the dome, from the heart. That is how you successfully elevate and get buy-in from Rattler Nation. Dr. Humphreys was a master at that. And he was genuine. He genuinely cared. It seems to me that President Johnson has some capacity to. She seems like a genuine person to me, and she seems pretty comfortable in the skins. So don't let those folks around you make you a robot. Get out here with some folks outside of that Lee Hall crew.
Get away from that new FAMU mafia.
Which Kelvin's a part of, by the way.
Yeah.
I know the FAMU.edu has been putting their top stories, their top 10 of the year. I gotta mention my favorite blog spot, Rattler Nation blog spot, which, by the way, has been a source of information for well over a decade. It's been around. You go back to the archives. Go back through the archives. If you bump around, you'll find yourself pulling up stories. You were like, man, I forgot about that. So, while sometimes it is sometimes opinion based, but also there's some factual stuff in there as well that'll remind you of some things. Here's the top 10 most read stories of the year. Okay. Now this is coming from rattlernation.blogspot.com, everybody's favorite Rattler Nation blog site. Number 10 was the Colsey era ends, Quinn, the gray era begins. That was story number 10. Number 9 Alums deliver a scathing rebuke of Johnson at the December Board of Trustees meeting, led by
that meeting was tight.
Led by alumna Kim Godwin, former head of ABC.
That lady said y'all wasted $1 million.
Number 8, efforts to bolster Johnson's image often backfired, noting a July 27 Democrat profile featuring interviews with 5 of her friends, none with FAMU ties, sparked intense backlash on social media. So anyway, number 7, Forbes magazine ranked FAMU's online bachelor's program best among HBCUs. Interesting. Number 6, Gibbs Cottage awarded federal grant. The Gibbs Cottage, the former home of FAMU founder Thomas Van Rensselaer Gibbs, received a $50,000 federal preservation grant. That's what that was. Number 5, Johnson tries to claim credit for legislative successes she had nothing to do with. That's story number 5. Yeah, okay. Number 4. Number 4, Jesus, man, was actual confirmation of President Johnson, Marvin Johnson. That's story number 4. That kind of surprised me a little bit, being number 4. Number 3, Rebecca Brown resigns as SVP and CFO. On October 25th, Brown, the former senior VP and senior VP of administration and the CFO, resigned quietly after a scathing state audit revealed systemic financial disarray, et cetera, et cetera. That was story number 3. Number 2, Lawson resigns to become EVP/COO. Of course, in July, the Board of Trustees welcomed a new member, Jocelyn Dobson Rodriguez, a Tampa-based partner at Simmons Law Firm. Her appointment concluded a prolonged transition for outgoing trustee Kelvin Lawson, whose term had officially expired in July of 2021. And so now he is the executive vice president and chief operating officer. And the number 1 story, in case you guys hadn't read it, it was the appointment of John Davis, the Florida Lottery secretary and a longtime Republican operative, their words, not mine, as the university's next permanent athletic director. I'm just reading what they wrote.
I didn't say you said anything, Brian.
I mean, see, again, there's some things that are
friendship has its benefits.
Look, it just can, anyway. But anyway, I was genuinely tickled that was the number 1 story. I thought the appointment and confirmation of President Johnson was going to be the number 1 story, but
And Demetra is the only one today.
I think the street committee got a lot to do with why that's the number 1 article. Yeah, I believe that there because the streets know what's up.
Oh man, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the stuff with Marva isn't higher just because we kind of got to a point where we kind of saw what was going on. Like we saw the game, how it was being played. And even now you see with the board kind of the shuffling that's going on and what's continue to happen. But I do notice that other individuals are calling out what is taking place and making it clear that FAMU is not the only place where these type of activities are taking place and happening.
And the focus is only going to get sharper, frankly. New year, election year. I'm saying the football is over with, so that distraction ain't gonna be there. So the spotlight is gonna get brighter.
Yep. And there's only one good basketball team in the state of Florida, and honestly, them bootskins can kick rocks. But yeah, you ain't gonna have no distractions outside of that which is going on. So it's gonna be very interesting, as Kelvin mentioned, to see how the non-sports related aspects of this pan out. And listening to some certain people who are running for government office, they've let you know what time of day it is, and they've made it abundantly clear that they've paid attention to what's going on at FAMU and that they're not happy with it. And it's not the black person. It's the former Republican that's not happy about it. I'm not going to say his name. But I hope you had a jolly Christmas.
I categorically deny wholeheartedly, Demetra. Demetra, you're so messy. You're so messy.
She is going in tonight.
I am not, have not, do not. Okay, I am not a writer contributor even.
I sure don't. I ain't got time to do it. I ain't gonna hold you.
I don't think you. I don't have time. Who has
I
time?
tell you what though, man. Marvin's husband, he cool people, man. He's in my chapter too.
All right, well, let's bring him on the show. Let's get him on the show one day. Come on, Keith.
He could
see. Look at you. See. Anyway, so Demetra is so messy. It's not my rankings again. Those rankings were from Rattler Nation. I'm a reader. Look, I'm a reader just like all of y'all. So don't act like y'all don't read.
Oh, I definitely be reading.
That's one thing we not gonna do.
Yeah. The street is messy. The street committee is messy.
The street is messy. Yes. I'm not a ghostwriter. No, I'm not. See. I will say thank you, Tim. I appreciate you. One of my great joys this year was being given the opportunity to broadcast FAMU football games this year. That is the highlight of my year. And I look, that trumps you. I went on did a lot of things I hadn't done this year. Went on a Washington tour with my dad and sister, which I enjoyed immensely. Went to Las Vegas for the first time with my basketball team, but none of that beats my personal joy that I experienced this year working with Al Chester and getting a chance to call FAMU football games. And so that's the highlight of my professional. As much as I love this show and I love everything we do at the Black College Sports Network, that's the highlight of my career. And so,
we need you to get some W's next year then.
I was gonna say it. I need Quinn to treat Bryan right. Boy. I tell you what.
Hey, actually, we finished 500 under me. So 5-5. I got a winning record. 5-5 on my watch.
Standard is the standard.
That's the end of the show right there. That's it. We're done. The standard is Jesus. Oh my!
We got to find what the new tagline is going to be under Quinn. That's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. Right now it's restore the strike. The floor is 7. I don't know. That's what y'all are saying. So anyway,
the floor is absolutely 7. I expect. Look, I'm telling you, I expect 7 wins.
Yeah.
All right.
If we had Quinn Gray coaching last year, we would have won 8-9. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just looking at results.
We can talk about that next year. All right. So again, thank you to everybody who stuck in and hung around with us as we recap the best of 2025. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and like button, however and where you are watching the show. The folks on Facebook, we finally got that working. So if you missed any parts of the show, go on back and rewind and watch it again. You can watch all of our shows on the BCSN Pod Zone, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff is where you can find BCSN Pod Zone. And again, my plea for 2026 for all of you who are watching the show, please hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe the shows that you watch on social media. It helps those of us starving actors and talking heads who are putting content together. It makes us feel appreciated knowing that you took a moment to just watch and hit that button. So that's my New Year's wish for all of you. I want to wish all of you a happy and prosperous 2026. Hey, shout out, by the way, to Dr. Lori. It's her birthday today. Dr. Lori,
right. What's
birthday
up, Doc?
today. She'll probably she's not with us live, but she'll probably hopefully watch it later. But I did send a note to her personally and on social media. So if you follow,
it's a birthday, man. I based on what she was posting, she probably busy.
Yeah. So if you know her, you see her, you follow her, you have her number, let her know that happy birthday. And yes, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy New Year to all of you. Be safe if you're one of those people who are out and about tomorrow. Use the ride sharing services that are out there. Don't risk it driving on your own. If you're in church, say a prayer for all of us. We need it. And may we all be blessed in 2026 with great health, great love, great laughter, and some financial prosperity. Great leadership.
Yes, sir.
At every level.
About that. At every level. Happy New Year to all of our coaches, our players, the staff, everybody who makes FAMU Athletics one of the premier athletic programs in the SWAC, in the state, in the nation, among HBCUs. Yes, we do more than just brag different. We are blessed to be one of the greatest institutions. And so everyone act accordingly in 2026.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Keep telling we better than them.
That's it. Because we are.
Yeah.
See, Keith, you about to get me messy in the woods. I gotta stop. I almost said something that was really gonna light the internet on fire, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll save it for next year. Don't forget, FAMU men.
Talking about NIL?
FAMU men and FAMU women's basketball are in.
This show is messy at the end for some reason.
It's Keith. That's what it is. It's Keith. He brings the messy out of us. Saturday, the men and women doubleheader at Bethune-Cookman. Be there 1 o'clock for the women.
Hey, y'all guys gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there.
I'm gonna be in Tampa. Okay, working at USF.
You're coming. You're right, Kelvin.
That's the plan. Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's plan to meet up at Bethune Grill. One of those before. We had to get there early, but Bethune Grill is the spot. We go to Bethune Grill and then walk over to the game, kind of like we did last year. But I'll talk to Road Dog Reed and kind of see what we're gonna do. So, all right. So we'll see you there. The game will be on HBCU Go if you're not gonna attend. I mean, only like 5-10 people can fit in that gymnasium anyway. So, but first 25 to arrive, get in for free.
And eat before you get there.
Eat before you get there.
No concessions.
The concessions.
I mean, they got the cafeteria stage. Ain't no hot plate on that cafeteria stage.
You leave and you lose your seat. You leave and you lose your seat. It's one of them spots, Kelvin. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know what I'm saying? If you get up and go to the bathroom,
I've never been to a game in that gym. I've been to the gym, but I'm not doing a basketball game.
I was about to say
when I went to Daytona, and I used to go to Daytona and watch the game. That's when they was having the Seabreeze Civic Center.
That's where they should have.
They should keep it.
That's where they should have it. That's where they should have it. But anyway, if we have two more games like what we did last year, Keith, when we went last year, I ain't going back again. I'm gonna tell you now. That was hot foolishness last year.
I always wear orange and green when I travel. You definitely see.
I know it's not. It's the outcome. It's the outcome. You know. And
I'm responding to someone on yeah.
Oh yeah, I wore my FAMU stuff. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. No. We gonna wear our gear now. That's we ain't shamed like that. So
I got to give you something to look at on that campus. I mean, shoot.
All right, let's get out of here. Hey, for Keith Hadley, for Marcus Green, for Kelvin Rozier, for everyone that's been a part of our show, to all of our guests throughout the year, our contributors, and to all of you, we salute you and we say Happy New Year. Be blessed. And that's going to do it. Good night, everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.
Happy New Year.
Hangs up. Make sure to strike, and strike again in 2026. Peace out.